What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Redemption with Jaden. And I know some of you may be thinking I'm a little bit late to the game. Like, come on, Jaden, where you been? We've already seen this deck from Tyler, and we got the article from Chad, but I'd like to just throw it out there. I did play this game before Tyler's video came out, so I'm not just like trying to copy him or anything. But I am trying to copy Chad, though. That was very cool. But since Tyler's video came out, and notably he did make a few changes and do it, but he did talk about kind of the main beef of the deck, and Chad obviously went fairly in depth in his article. So if you guys haven't checked those out yet, you should definitely do that. And that's going to be kind of the overview of the deck for this week. I'm not going to go too much into detail. I'll give like the briefest overview we've ever had on the channel, which so it'll only be about 20 minutes. All right. Just kidding. Okay, so we've got Lackey Grand Prix number 4 is in the it's in progress. It's going on. This is the first round game. I actually just played the second round game with Rob. Hopefully, I mean that I keep on saying hopefully I'll get it out sooner. That one is almost certainly not going to be out until next week. Just how my weekend is looking and how things are shaping up. That's just going to be next week. I don't think I'm going to get caught up to so that I'm like playing the same or like showing the same round the week that it's happening. I know it's probably a little bit more exciting, and it kind of means that I'm like a little bit delayed with decks like this that are kind of coming out and are hot and I want to show off. But you haven't seen gameplay with it yet. I mean, most people at least haven't seen gameplay with it yet, unless you count Tyler playing himself. But it's not all. It's not okay. It's exciting. It's cool. Good job, Tyler. I do enjoy your videos, but hopefully the gameplay kind of fills a hole that some people enjoy more, even though it does take a little bit longer. Additionally, so you've got Tyler's video, you've got Chad's article. I'll give kind of a brief overview, and then after this game, I actually talk with JD for a little bit about the deck, and then actually Chad hops into the chat with us and talks about the deck, and as kind of the creator, the mastermind behind it, he kind of gives some insight into some of the things. We tell him a little bit about the game, so you're gonna have to kind of bear with us there. Maybe I'll cut parts of that out, but parts of it are referenced in kind of like what in Chad's response to it. So it'll probably be in there. You'll just kind of get to be like with JD and I kind of telling Chad what happened, how it played out, and kind of getting some of his thoughts on where the deck could be now. And I think Chad has done a lot of testing with it, and so the version that he posted is definitely a good version, but there's always room for improvement. For example, one of the things he mentioned was probably putting in Jeremiah instead of Prophets of Gibeath. It was in there because it got him a link between Jehoshaphat and Noah, so that he could just kind of keep on spamming those after you get the big impartial judgment blowout on turn 1, hopefully, or turn 2 if that's just how things shake out. But basically, that is the idea of the deck, is turn 1 or turn 2, but ideally turn 1, just really big impartial judgment. And if you remember, I'm pretty sure that this was a video. Chad actually played this, like the earliest version of this deck, against me in a video. I think you referenced it in the article. I'm pretty sure we recorded that game. It's possible that we didn't. But I just feel like I've in the last almost 2 years now, I feel like I've recorded pretty much every game I've played. Not quite, but close. So maybe we didn't. Anyways, that was a game that I ended up winning, and that Chad eventually got him to this version of this deck that is certainly much better. But one of the things we talked about was like, oh, is first turn impartial judgment really all that good? Like, first turn, maybe I only have 2 evil cards in hand, and then I have my turn to use all the speed and the tutors and stuff that I have to kind of catch up or to get settled back in. And this deck doesn't really use that many battle winners, or at least like the earlier versions. You're kind of just hoping to cruise in with something like Jehoshaphat to Prophet's Gibeath to Noah, and just kind of rely on your opponent being starved of resources. But what Chad did here is, increase the consistency a bit, so that if I have a hand with 6 evil cards in my opening hand, there's a possibility that you still hit all of them with impartial judgment. And he also kind of increased the long lastingness of it, I guess, by putting a few more battle winners in the reserve, and just kind of giving the deck a little bit more punch overall. So a few of the cards that are new since then are pretty much just the Lord's Prayer, actually, now that I actually look at it. It's really the only card that's new since Chad played it. I guess Crowd's Choice as well. Yeah, so that's a fairly big deal, I suppose. And David's Harp. Okay, there's a few more. Anyways, those really do help get the consistency with Zion, getting that out early, which that's kind of the namesake, even though there are versions of the deck that don't necessarily need to rely on Zion, but it is really nice to get out this dude, as Chad was saying in the article. So that's kind of just like it all just kind of came together and has now been doing very well for Chad in online tournaments and in-person tournaments and all that, and casual games and stuff. I think he said his record was like 30-0 or something crazy like that. Maybe it was 13. Anyways, it was some big number in O, which is a lot, since that initial game that he played against me. And so I was like, all right, well, this is, impartial judgment, Jeshua, like, this is Akeem, this is right up my alley. Like, I should give it a shot and see what it's all about. And I like it. I'm a fan. I approve. Chad is a very good deck builder, and so I'm not surprised by that at all, that he was able to make it work and get it consistent. And I think that this is a style of deck that could be could very well do well at nationals. Like, it's going to be competitive. You're probably going to see a deck, at least one deck like this, whether or not it looks exactly like this, whether or not it uses Zion, uses all of the royal heroes, has yet to be determined. I'm sure there are disciples builds and stuff that will also be using a similar strategy, but maybe not like a first turn impartial judgment, but maybe turn 2 or something. And it's really kind of shifting the meta, sort of, in like the Lost Soul choices. Like, Crowd's Lost Soul is kind of getting a lot of hype right now because, for one, it protects against Matthew, and 2, it protects against impartial judgment. And those are 2 of like the biggest first turn options that can really swing the game. I guess I can pull it up right here. Is that? No, it doesn't actually say Crowds in here, so we gotta look for it the hard way. Let's sort by promo. This one, Protector, is what it's called in Lackey. Most people call it Crowds. I think that that's probably more accurate. I bet that has something to do with the verse and also something to do with the picture, because it seems like Jesus is healing the crowds and all that. So anyways, the redemption relevance, I guess, is while you have drawn 4 or fewer cards this turn, protect your hand and deck from opponent's cards. So it's pretty good because there it is. You don't usually draw that many cards on your opponent's turn. They can play Mayhem, but your hand's going to be protected from that, so it doesn't really matter. So really their only way to stop it on the first turn like that is something like Akeem to negate neutrals, or Son of God to rescue it, which you're kind of like putting the extra pressure on them to have it. That was kind of the philosophy with the Love at First Sight deck last year, is like it's very consistent, but if you have just enough layers, you can tip the odds in your favor of shutting it down. And then once you do, you're kind of able to take control of the game from there. This is a little bit more difficult because it's not quite as many pieces, and it is very consistent. Like you can see, all of these enhancements here are just like tutors aside from Impartial Judgment. And so everything kind of gets you there, and a lot of it also gets you to Akeem. But if they're putting down Akeem as not meek, that's one fewer card they get to discard with Impartial Judgment, and it's one more search that they have to use on Akeem instead of something else. So that's kind of the thought behind it. And Crowds is just a decent Lost Soul in general. It's a little bit underrated, and people are kind of like, oh, well, what about like Entrapping Pharisees and Terrifying Beast? You can't do the instead on there. Well, then you just have to draw more cards on your turn, I guess, before you attack, because you get to turn off the protection if you've drawn 4 or more cards. So it's a nice flexible card, and it comes out in the opening 8. You can get it with Escape, you can get it with Awake. There are definitely ways to help you get to it. I'm sure that with Escape and Awake in this deck, that Chad would probably find a way to fit it in here. Maybe take out Darkness, or I don't know, maybe Prosperity or Distressed. Like, those are ways that you can kind of look at to like adjust for what you're seeing. So if you're seeing a lot of Impartial Judgment, you're seeing a lot of Matthew, which you likely are, Crowd's Lost Soul can be a good choice for those. So that's pretty much the deck. Lots of powerful stuff in here, and that's I think the best counter to it is probably just having Second Coming in your hand and being able to play that to grab Chronicles to negate Impartial Judgment after they've played it. And that definitely is pretty good. You definitely, if you're playing this deck, want to be careful when you're playing Impartial Judgment to make sure that you hit all of the evil cards that they don't get with have some kind of Chronicles or Woes or something, to some evil card left that can negate Impartial Judgment. That may or may not be a little bit of foreshadowing. You would think that I would remember that, but anyways. Let's go ahead and get into the game. Before we do, as usual, we're going to thank our sponsors. But speaking of said sponsors, they actually earlier this week released what is now, I guess, like the first YouTube video for Your Turn Games, which is the sponsor. I'm sure you're aware by now. And they have a video of Brandon Swan, B Swan on Discord, doing a box opening for GOC Phase 1. So if you haven't checked that out yet, you should definitely do that. Show your support for Your Turn Games. Now that this new Andy guy is taking over, he's really kind of stepping it up. He's sponsoring YouTube channels, starting his own YouTube channel, and that he's really stepping it up from where that old owner had it. What was his name again? I'm just kidding. I'm sure that Derek's going to kind of be a part of the channel at some point, because I know that he wanted to create some content for like the contender decks and that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to what happens there. So be sure to go over to their YouTube channel, which I'll just have a link for in the description. I assume it's just called Your Turn Games, but I didn't actually pay attention to that. But that is, go ahead and check them out. Subscribe so that you remember, or get notified or whatever when they release new videos, because I'm sure they're going to be really cool. And it's nice to see like a supplier now having like content, and like pretty soon they're just gonna kind of have everything together, and they're gonna just absorb all of the other content creators to make content for them. And maybe, probably not, but it is very cool what they're doing, and just in general, everything that's coming out for Redemption. It's another name that, or another channel, I guess, that Hendrix is going to have to mention on his podcast every week, or every however often they post videos. So um, yeah, pretty soon we'll see how how many of the content creators he's able to like squeeze in there. He'll just have to have a list and read it off really fast. But no, I definitely appreciate the shout out for my weekly videos. And before we dive in, I guess I suppose I can mention that I'm playing JD, who um, probably a lot of you are familiar with. If you've been playing for a little while, some of you may not have been. It's very good player, a very competitive player. I guess those aren't necessarily the same thing, but he's definitely both. He's got a few nationals titles in different categories, so he's definitely a capable, good player, and fun to play against. So hopefully you guys enjoy this game. He has some good insights as well at the end, and let's go ahead and get into it. This video is sponsored by Your Turn Games, a retailer of Redemption CCG with various products such as singles, sealed product, and great deals on bundles like battle boxes and grab bags. They also have pre-built decks such as Challenger decks in the $55 range, Contender decks in the $80 to $95 range, and Champion decks in the this deck just placed at Nationals last year dollar range. They also have card supplies to keep you caught up on all of your gaming needs, and at no cost to you, they have Redemption resources such as the latest Redemption news, rules, tournaments that are coming up, and Redemption content such as this. So head on over to yourturngames.biz today, and a big thank you to them for supporting this content.
Yeah, which deck I want to play.
Let's see.
I got two pretty good ones, but I don't know. This one, neither of these are my decks, so.
Well, I'm trying out Chad's deck, so don't do that one.
That's where I'm kind of. What's Chad's deck?
His Once Upon a Time in Zion one.
Oh, is that See the Tree?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, that's really cool. Yeah, I've been trying that deck some. I wasn't gonna pick that one.
Okay.
I'm just kind of on the fence about it. Because I do really like this deck. This is a fun one. It's really fun, but I'm just kind of, I don't really know if it. I don't know if. So, like, I made some changes to it. It's one that Luke built.
Okay.
I made some changes to it because I just wanted to see if they would make a difference, but
sure.
I don't know if they're actually gonna, if this deck is competitive. It seems like it could be.
Yeah, I mean, Luke's got a pretty good handle on making some fun decks, so.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. All right, looks like you won the die roll here, so what's it
I will be going first, and I do not have any stars.
All right. I'm going to use 2 stars. We'll do Delivered and Jotham.
Oh man, that delivered. What's it gonna be?
Ooh, Simon. I like that.
And oh man, I like that guy. I think he might come back one way or another, hopefully.
I'm gonna top deck Zion.
Ooh.
Pretty sure that's the right move.
Okay, I'm actually really excited about this because you playing this deck, because I was trying to play it and I was like sort of moderately playing it. But me and Josh were pretty much under the impression that we were like, well, maybe the reason he's got such a good record is with this deck is because he doesn't have that great a competition.
Sure. Yeah,
do you know if has?
I know his play group is kind of a lot of newer people out there. We'll go ahead and use this Prosperity and discard Province of Gibeath. I'm not exactly sure what this card's doing in here. Chad can help me out.
Josh said of all the cards in that deck, that's the card that he would cut.
Uh-huh.
But he also made the point that it's basically how he plays delivered.
Sure. Yeah.
So I don't know.
I could see that.
Yeah, I don't know if that
Uh,
matters. But I wound up getting a rescue just because I was able to band with profits. I needed that band.
yeah.
So that was clutch.
Yeah,
All
the
right.
other thing is like first turn escape by itself. Like I'm pretty sure imitates the right move, but like neither of the other New Testament Lost Souls are really good unless you have imitate out. So I don't know. We'll
Right.
see.
Yeah. All right. So
Chad
I'm
also has been playing in the some of the Lackey Grand Prix stuff though, so he had some decent competition there.
okay.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm not sure what his play group looks like, but I mean, his write ups are really in depth, and I really appreciate his write ups.
mm-hmm.
But after testing the deck, that's where I was like, okay, this seems like a great idea because like I was totally able to pull off the combo early,
Sure, yeah,
but then it was like, sort of like, okay, now what? And that's where I got rolled.
right, yeah,
So
I get that.
yeah, it kind of. All right, so I'm starting. I'm going first here, right?
What you got?
So ready to rock.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, I'm gonna throw down a Herod's Temple and play this guy and play this card. And I will search my deck for a evil card with a discard ability.
Yep.
Which one did I get? Which one? This one.
Yeah, I was gonna say like no Sheol in the main deck, or it's just too many. Like I can't think of too many options that are better than Sheol on turn one.
Yeah, especially with that fallen star.
Right.
And another good option turn one is
Let me guess.
this guy.
Thomas.
Guess who? Guess who it's gonna be?
It's got to be Thomas, right?
All right.
Yep.
Now the question is, should I convert him to Meek?
Don't bluff. You don't have a good dominant.
Yes, I will convert him to Meek. Look at your hand. Ooh la la! Lots of brigades.
It's a decent amount.
What is that? 4, 5, 6.
I think it's
7.
see, it's 8.
8.
So see 4 on delivered.
Am slave, huh?
Yeah, man.
Nice.
You draw those cards.
Love those. All right. All right. It's looking pretty good. But do you have a block is the question. All right, so I'm drawing. I can reveal and I may draw. Is that correct?
I think you have to draw if you reveal. Because it's just you may reveal opponent's hand, draw X.
All right, well, I guess I gotta draw. I guess I'm committing to it. Drawing 8. Boom. There. Nice big draw. Boom.
Oh.
Boom. All right. So I have drawn 8 and I got a prosperity here.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to take advantage of prosperity? Oof, I hope this doesn't hurt.
Mary. Okay.
All right. All right.
Oh, you've got 5 lost souls out now, so you're tempting me to search, but I don't know if I can justify that with
You're gonna lose that card from your hand.
Fallen Star. I know. Well,
You're gonna get wiggling those cards in your hand there.
Matthew's
okay, so
4,
Fallen Star,
6.
can you clarify this? I'm sure you know this. So Fallen Star says cannot be negated in battle. Does that mean that Fallen Star has to be in the battle, the field of battle?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay, so it's not just battle phase.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think it's probably worth it here. Let's Let's do the slave. Capture him.
All right. I like this. I like this.
And Foreign Wives is tempting, but that's another search. I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah, hit me with Foreign Wives.
I think
He's protected.
I'm just gonna do Lying Prophet.
Ooh, Lying Prophet, huh?
So I'm gonna reveal your hand.
All right.
Gotta have some good brigades in there, right?
Must.
Okay. We got Overcome, Authority of Christ, and the Helper. Lord's Prayer, Angel, and Woes. Okay. So 4 brigades, 4 good brigades.
Is that right?
Yeah, purple, red, clay, white.
Most count?
No. Is that? Or yeah, Patmos is neutral brigades, so it doesn't count.
Okay. All right. So we're looking at
Draw 4.
3, 4. Yep.
All right. I'll do 4. No souls. I'll just go ahead and shuffle my hand, and you can come pick the random card for me to underdeck if you want.
Oh man. All right. Yeah, so I guess I get shield, right?
Yeah.
I can do like this, and then I can do that.
There we go.
And then can I let's see here. Let's negate that draw.
Okay. Really shouldn't have shuffled my hand then. I know Balaam's Prophecy was one of the 4 because I didn't have it in my opening hand, but I think it was
Okay.
That one, and that one. People in the recording can yell at me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was those 3.
All right, cool. Sounds good. And then
guess yeah, makes it your initiative. Stalemate.
So my initiative, stalemate. You don't have anything to play on it.
Not that you know of. Which you know of all of it, so
I'm gonna discard him with Overcome. Reveal.
Yep. That'll do it.
Out.
I'll give you a prosperity.
All right. And then let's see. I'll do. Okay, so I go Patmos. And then do 2.
All this searching. I don't like it.
Sorry, just a sec. What am I doing? Oh yeah. Looking for a good card. Okay, here it is. Here's a good card. Boop. This is a good card.
That's a pretty good one.
This is for meek guys, right? Your clay meek cards.
Yep.
Clay meek cards. This gets shuffled. This gets discarded, right? Alright. And then so when it says you may convert a hero to meek, does that mean that I can convert him to meek clay?
No, you just convert to the meek side of the hero.
The meek side of things?
Yeah, doesn't change the brigade.
Let's just take a D2 then.
Alright. You don't want to bounce your fallen star?
And I guess we'll leave this guy around. And I guess we'll do this. And put this down. And put down. Oh yeah, we'll do this. All right, and I'm gonna get a card with a discard ability. That seems pretty good with Fallen Star.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll do this one. And then it will be your turn.
Okay. Trying to see if I can do anything. Let's start off with a storehouse. That seems pretty good.
Oh man.
That was in those 3 cards that you made me put back. I was like, all right, just hope he doesn't shuffle my deck. Let's see. I don't think I need. This guy is not Meek. Yeah, let's put down a Meek Hezekiah.
Okay.
And I've got 5 Lost Souls out, so I don't have to worry too much about Sheol. I guess I can only got 4 triggers, so let's see. Let's do Zion. And take a hero from deck or discard pile. Let's go for David.
Okay.
Let's see. All right, let's put down Majestic Heavens. Put down Jeshua. And yeah, I guess I'll put down David. Let's play Delivered. Let's activate the harp on David. And I want to shuffle that Fallen Star. I will. Yeah, I'm gonna shuffle your Fallen Star.
All right. Let's see. Using David's harp to shuffle Fallen Star.
Yep. Then I will Denarius. Let's go find.
Oh yeah, no way.
Nero.
Okay.
Put Nero down. And we'll go ahead and discard Denarius. Draw the 3. I was hoping you were going to underdeck your Punisher at some point here, but...
Well, just do a few more searches and we'll get there.
I think you've got 3 activations of Sheol so far, right?
Oh, that's right.
So...
I've only got 1 more.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Let's see. So let's put down Josiah as Meek. Put down Jotham as Meek.
There we go.
And then, all right. Yeah, let's make a rescue. I'll go with Jehoshaphat. I'll bounce Damsel. Oops, should have done that first. Oh well. Then we'll Band of David. Convert him to Meek. Go grab Impartial Judgment from reserve.
Okay.
Or not reserve, my deck. Then I'll ban to Meek. Hezekiah. And we'll play Awesome Things. And play Impartial Judgment.
Nice.
X equals 4.
All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And look what I have.
Oh, yeah. I was hoping I counted right. Was King of Tyrus in your hand last turn? Or,
I can't remember.
Oh, you must have drawn him with Life in the Sun.
All right, so we're going to Chronicles that Impartial Judgment. Yep. And then I think KOT might be a block. Your initiative.
Don't think that helps me. Let's see. Yep, I think that's good enough. I'll pass.
Oh, man. Man, oh man.
That Matthew.
That is very surprising. But you did pull off the turn one combo. Yep. So see, again, you have pulled off the combo.
So I think...
But, I mean, that was really freaking lucky that I had just enough ant to still hold Chronicles.
So Chronicles was the last one?
Chronicles was my 5th evil card.
Okay, so if I don't bounce Damsel, or if I don't... if I put Jehoshaphat down as Meek, and not bounce Damsel, I guess, I could do both. I think that's the way I do it.
And yeah, as far as I could tell, you have to go all in.
Right. Yeah.
Like every guy has to go down Meek, because that's how I was playing it wrong at the beginning. Was like I was trying to get the abilities, I was trying to use their abilities to get them all to Meek.
Right.
And I see the tree was just like, no, you got to go all in.
Yep. Yeah, I think. I got a little bit greedy trying to bounce the Damsel with Jehoshaphat and hope I could hit them all, but because that's how I would normally play it. I guess
I can put my good woes on David's harp, right?
Yep.
I don't know if I want to put on David's harp or I guess that would be the one there. Boop.
All right.
And then we will. All right, so I'm gonna bounce Bart and come in with Bart and take a good card from reserve, which will be.
So you're just doing Bart as Meek, or are you doing the?
Yeah, I bounce him, and then I'm Oh.
So you would do his ability first before sending the helper. I mean, it probably doesn't really matter, but. All right, so you're good. Gospel Announcements or CBN. And play Lost Soul from your deck for me.
No thanks. Rescue attempt with Bart.
Alright, interrupt battle, protect heroes in battle from harm, and balance a character. Let's try it with Nero.
Alright. my initiative.
Yep.
Negate, reveal.
Yep. So you're at 10-9. It's mutual. Huh. I think I'll pass.
Did I keep Bart? Guess I do have plenty of ways to get him back. So yeah. All right.
You're passing.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll pass.
All right. And then I'll go with.
Oh. Huh.
All right. Your turn.
Got some baddies.
Yep, there's some baddies out here. It's a gold bordered red dragon.
Not the alternate border one.
All right, so you're gonna search for the wake?
That's a good question. Guess the better thing. Yeah, I'm not gonna use that star ability. I don't think there's a point in using. Yeah, I guess there's kind of a point in using Awake. I'll go ahead and play a Lost Soul from your deck.
All right.
I mean, it's like I can basically just trigger Sheol, get one use out of it, right?
Yeah. That's what happened though, is that it was like, okay, there's the soul from Awake, and then there's the shield. It's like,
so my upkeep, storehouse, I think I want to take. Let's take The Lord Goes Before You. No, we'll do Royal Parade. Then I will. Yeah, let's deactivate David's Harp. So that's negated. And then. So I guess I make a rescue attempt with. Let's put a Lost Soul on the site first.
nice.
Yeah, I realized I should have done that last turn. Like I was thinking, oh, you've got Patmos, so it doesn't really matter. But if I attack with Joshua and I underdeck your Patmos, then exchange to Jehoshaphat, bounce my David, and and then a band to. See, I've got my own Jotham. Yeah. Yeah, I'll band to David, and I will convert him to Meek. Go ahead and search, and I will grab. Yeah, I'll grab Solomon's Dream.
All right.
And I'll ban to your Matthew.
All right. And I'll decline the battle challenge.
I don't want to block a messenger, you're sure?
I definitely do not want to draw anything off the bottom of my team.
That was worth a shot. Alright, so now my heroes are on. Let's play Azrubel's Plumb Line. I'll take good card from my deck. Let's do Crowd's Choice.
Nice.
So top deck that, draw it with Joshua. And I think I'm gonna pass the turn there.
All right. Oh, no souls. Let's see here.
Yeah, I feel like there's gonna be a few cards. I've got a few cards to go before I see any more Lost Souls.
All right, so let's see. I think I'm going to send the helper. Oh yeah. Well, I got my D3. Let me put. Let's see. Let's put Woes on to Majestic Heavens.
Sure.
Yeesh. That might have just saved me the game right there.
Remembering the woes.
Yep. And then I'm gonna come in with.
I feel like you're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I think so. Let's do Lord's Prayer.
Mm-hmm. Birdie's back.
He's back, and now he's clay purple.
Oh, not converting him?
Not converting him. Just giving him clay with reassuring angels. So now he's a clay purple disciple coming in hot for Zion at that awake soul.
Oh boy.
And then I'm gonna take out my reserve with Send the Helper.
Oh, wait, does that... Yeah, it only works for meek heroes.
So. Okay, all right, so he's not meek. So rescue attempts.
So I think we try. I'll play a good Crowd's Choice. I'll take this good Firefoxes for my reserve.
All right.
And I'll block with Firefoxes, and I guess I'll shuffle my Zion. Because apparently it can't sight lock for me, so.
Alright, so you're protecting souls. What can I do? So I can't play Crowd's Choice to negate and discard it, right? I'm just playing. Let's see if I can do anything about this. A little 2/2. Man, Crowd's Choice to the Firefoxes.
Yeah, man. That's a pro play right there.
A reach right there, dang. Well, man, what should I do? What should I do? Well, I'm trying to figure out if I have any way to do anything here.
You've got your woes is already down.
I could play Ride Awesome. If he was meek, I could play Awesome Ride, but then I wouldn't have had side access, so
right.
I think that's probably all I can do there. So Firefox wins again.
Yeah.
And
Got one block. Maybe, just maybe, they'll give me a chance.
yeah, for sure. Oh,
Yeah, I
let's
think
see.
that's might be the only block I have against around Angel Awards.
Oh man. Let's see. I guess I can do Life in the Sun. But the only problem is I already have a bajillion cards, so I can do Life Through Christ. To Get Back Married, or maybe Simon. But the only problem is you don't have barely any evil characters in the deck, so
Who are
kind
you
of
gonna
like,
choose?
yeah, like I could get that, but I don't know what Doms you have, so that's where I'm like, maybe I should get Mary. Yeah, I'll just do Mary to play it safe. Playing it safe.
Seems good.
And I really don't want to do this, but I guess I am. Feels bad though. And got one too many cards here. I guess
Just discard Angel Award. You don't need it.
Life in the Sun. I'm tempted to. Oh, you know what? You know what? I think I'm going to. Wow. Wow. Okay. So does this work?
What you got?
If I play Life in the Sun,
Mm-hmm.
can I actually? I've never used it this way, but this is like actually very, like, I feel like this is like maybe kind of busted powerful. You may convert a hero to Meek.
Mm-hmm.
So I can convert your heroes to Meek.
I think so, yeah. Should just do
So
Jehoshaphat.
I can convert Jehoshaphat. I could convert Joshua.
Well, they have to have a meek side to convert to.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't just it doesn't just make it a no special ability hero.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so they have to have a Meek side.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, let's do Jehoshaphat.
Sure. Seems
I
pretty
think
good.
that's my best bet right there. All right. Your turn.
Okay, let's see. What do we got here? Couple of Lost Souls.
Oh,
Um,
the souls are slamming.
I mean, I guess that's reasonable. I don't know. Let's use a star ability on Asa. Top deck Oath of Purity for my reserve.
Oh man, there we go.
And I'll draw it with Jeshua. That's one use on him this turn. Lost Souls. I guess I can trigger my Darkness. Let's go for. So just grab Malachite Slave. And I will not use Escape.
Slave's back.
He's back. We gotta try to do something, I guess, here, huh? Let's do. Yeah, let's play Profane Daughters. Play Balaam's Prophecy.
Oh man.
I will reveal my top six.
Oh man. There we go. So
Yeah.
you get a draw for that one, huh?
Oh yeah, I just only get to draw 3. So I've already used Joshua 3 times this turn, but I
Oh,
mean, those would be a nice 3 to draw if you had Lost Souls out.
yeah.
I guess there's no star cards. I'm gonna top deck the rest in this order, I guess. Let's get Lawless. All right, so yeah, we'll send those to the top in that order and draw 3. Look, Lawless. And I will use Lawless on you, my friend.
Oh, you're gonna use it on me, huh?
Yep.
Let's see. Oh
Oh,
no,
yes.
so many souls.
Won't get
Well,
shut
I
out.
can do this. Well, there you go. You got what you're looking for there. Oh,
Nice,
but I
nice.
got it distressed, so I think that means you got to pull those cards that you drew Yeshua back.
Oh, that's true. That's really sad.
Ooh, ooh.
So the Lawless stays, but
Yeah,
that one,
but oh, because is it because there's no more Cascade Negate?
right? Yep. So because Lawless went back into, or like it went into play from hand, then it doesn't return. So once a card moves like twice, I guess, or like once you draw it and it moves to somewhere else, including in play, like the Lost Souls, then they do not um, get negated.
Yeah, I don't really know about Cascade Negate still. I'm still trying to figure it out how that changed, like where there's no more Cascade Negate.
Yeah, basically just nothing cascades.
So the draw is negated, which means only the cards that you drew go back.
Yep, and only the cards that
The
um,
soul, so Lawless wouldn't go back.
correct. So the cards that I drew that haven't moved from my hand.
Oh, they haven't moved from your hand.
Yep.
Huh.
So
Okay, that's really
yeah,
interesting.
if I had like an opportunity to play a dominant or something in between, then or a 90 druid, if I had an opportunity to play my Son of God and Second Coming, those wouldn't go back because they've moved from my hand.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
um, okay, well, that makes things weird. Um, I need to draw cards now. I don't know if I have anything to do that. It's all searching in here. Um,
So it was Son of God, Second Coming, Lord's Prayer that got top decked.
yep.
Oh man. Listen,
Uh,
and it's like now I got three souls out, so it's like you got to figure out some way to get those two, just the top two cards up.
yeah. So, wait. I'm pretty sure if I negate Distressed and it doesn't unnegate Jeshua, is that right?
Well, if you negate Distressed, I still have Punisher.
That's true, yeah. I'd have to negate both somehow, but yeah, that's not gonna happen. Okay. Um, And you've got accusers now too. Like, just hit the 3 lost souls that don't let me do anything.
Accusers does. I don't know if it's the most optimal soul in this deck because it seems like pretty much all the good OT humans are CVP anyway or CVN.
Yeah, that's true.
But it does shut down a few things that are pretty good, I guess.
Yeah.
Elimelech, is that his name?
Yeah, Elimelech shuts down. Stops Noah. That's pretty good.
Oh, that's right. It would stop now, huh?
I mean, I guess right now it doesn't stop anything that Punisher isn't already stopping, so
Yeah.
let's see. Okay, so I think the plan here. So we go Oath of Purity. I'm gonna bounce my David and um, Oh, hey, that works. Okay. Just okay. Yep. I'll bounce Jehoshaphat.
All right.
Just finding out these random kings, withdraw abilities. So I will go to my rescue attempt. I'm gonna do Jehoshaphat. I will bounce hero in a territory, or a human in a territory. Let's bounce your I'll bounce my profane daughters. That seems pretty good. And then I will band to a warrior. Should be Asa. Wait, no. Oh, hold on. Joshua. Keep forgetting to put him in there. Let's underdeck your shield.
Okay.
Finally. And then exchange to my hand for Asa, who, as it so happens, has a draw ability. So I can reserve an evil male with a band ability. Or an evil royal female. Let's reserve Red Dragon.
Okay.
And then if I control a meek hero, I may draw 2, which I will opt to do.
All right.
Then,
so,
oh, wait a
the
second.
only
Oh, no.
they're negated.
I forgot about that. I was like, we were just talking about that. Oh, I got so excited about
you
seeing
can
he had a
do
draw
something
ability.
else. You
What's
want to
that?
do something else?
Uh,
You had a good plan, but there was just a problem with it. So
yeah.
this isn't nationals, and if you want to take it back,
We'll just band Asa as meek. We'll just switch it that way.
so are you sure that's what you want to do?
I'm not sure, but I'm going with it.
You're going with it.
Yep. Hey, at least I underdecked your shield. That part works.
All right. So
Joshua's OP.
Well, I don't know what you got, and I'm thinking you got a negate or something.
I don't have Son of God Second Coming, I'll tell you that much. This would be like the 2 ideal cards to have right now to stop your accusers and your Punisher.
Yeah. Man, well, I'm tempted to just go with KOT, but it just feels like it's too easy.
It's a trap.
Feels like it's too easy. But I already got rid of your impartial judgment.
I didn't use Storehouse this turn either.
Ooh.
Sorry, Chad. I'm not doing justice to your deck.
All right. Well, I guess I'm just gonna go with King of Tyrus and hold on. Your initiative.
All right, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
I guess we'll try this first. Let's play Royal Parade. We'll bounce KOT.
Bounce KOT. I think that is gonna do it.
Yes, and since it's used by Meek Hero, I will draw 1. And
oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
I'm gonna go ahead and let's see. Yeah, we'll go ahead and play Son of God, Rescue Punisher. And I mean, yeah, I don't know that I'm gonna be able to. I don't think I'll get a chance to do it on or anytime before the game's over here. So let's go and play Solomon's Dream, and I'll draw 1 and take that card.
All right, there you go.
Second Coming.
All right.
And we'll play Son of God and Rescue Accusers.
Take that last soul, huh?
I'm winning. I'm winning.
All right. Yes, you are. You are winning.
Let's see. I guess with that, I will. Should I put cards down? I suppose. Let's put down David. Put down Joshua. And you do have 20 cards left in your deck, so I guess like probably
Yeah,
makes
I could not
sense.
cross God for a while.
Yeah, I think I'll go ahead
I'm
and
having a hard time getting around that storehouse.
right. And your woes is good, so that helps. Um,
I got on your majestic heavens, which is helping me as long as I don't draw any souls.
yeah, that is true. I'm gonna go ahead and put down this Noah, and I'll pass the turn.
Oh, there's a soul.
Yeah.
I drew one. So yeah, I'm definitely going to prosperity here. I don't know which card I don't need.
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna say most of them.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know which one I don't need. I really don't. But I'm gonna get rid of one of them, and it's gonna be. I guess I could just get rid of Judas because I'm probably not gonna be able to get rid of your storehouse for a little bit. I'm gonna draw
Fair enough.
more. Okay, leaving. Woes on Majestic Heaven.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I should have shuffled my Majestic Heavens. Reset it.
But, yeah. A Revelation Angel. Now, Judas Iscariot isn't a martyr, right?
Correct.
Sorry, I just had to. Oh man, sorry, I just had to. I just had to do it. I'm kind of thinking about actually going with Judas though.
Yeah, you get that draw too.
Yeah. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. I mean, he's a 1/6 that's going to get a D2. But I don't know. Send the Helper is pretty good. I think I'm going to go with Meek Bart. And I guess I'll just get Judas with Patmos, but then go with Meek Bart. And, oops.
Gonna play a Lost Soul from your deck.
Send the Helper or
Ooh.
Rescue Attempt.
Oh boy. Eternal Inheritance, you say? Huh. Is there any way you let me do that? I don't think so.
Is there any way I let you unsuccessful on Profane Daughters?
Yeah, yep, yeah, that one.
There is certainly no way I will let you unsuccessful.
I mean, I guess we just block with Foreign Wives.
All right. Did I draw?
Yeah, with Prosperity.
Oh, that's right. So my initiative.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. We will. Let's see. Trying to see if there's anything else I can do here. Sorry, just a sec.
I forgot to pack my Destruction of Nehushtan. So.
Ooh. Okay, this is good. This is good to do.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I'm going to bounce my character.
Bounce a character. Okay.
All right.
And you
My initiative.
protect your Bart from harm. Seems good. Um, yeah, go ahead.
All right. And we will CBN convert her.
Um, let's see. Oh yeah. See, did you reveal a good dominant? I mean, I guess I know you had him, so that's. I assume you intended to. If you didn't.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry.
Let's see. So that's. Yeah, that'll work. What brigade would you like to convert her
Let's
to?
make her. Let's make her. Let's see. You got blue, green, gold, red, white, purple, teal.
I think I need clay.
You don't have any clay, and you don't have any. What's the other one you don't have?
It's got blue, green, white, gold, red, purple, teal. That's 8. So yeah, it's just clay.
Well, yeah, I get. Do I want to give you the full gambit? I guess we'll just for blue. That's usually my. That's the one I usually fall on.
Yeah, it seems pretty good. Okay. And I will give you. Guess I give you escape.
All right. All right. And now we're going to do this.
I have domination.
Yes.
Let's play Evil Woes and we'll negate Ephesian Widow.
Evil Woes on Widow, huh?
A combo almost more classic than Ephesian Widow Life in the Sun. Guess it's not
so
really.
We'll put that back. And let's see. Not really sure how much some of these cards matter. Let's get rid of this one. Feels bad. Feels bad, man.
Oof.
Your turn.
It put in work for you. I think
it did.
Yeah. It can rest easy. Okay. Still no shield again, so let's actually use my upkeep storehouse trigger this time. I don't have any star abilities, right? Yeah, okay. Let's see. Can we make it to 4 before the game's over? That'll be something.
I think you can do it.
You believe in me?
I do believe in you.
That's good. Okay. Let's see what we can do. I will. I'll take The Lord Goes Before You with Storehouse.
Nice.
And Woes will. Do I care about your Judas? Am I gonna draw? I guess we'll just have Woes on Judas stop you from drawing next turn. I don't know. Let's use. Oh, totally could have done that. Oh well. Let's go ahead and put David's Harp on David. Go to my deck for Covenant with David. And then we'll play that
Okay.
nice and exactly when I want to play it during a game, right on the what's probably my last turn.
On the very end. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So get that thrown out.
Oh yeah,
There we go.
there it is. Let's use um
So hey, that guy him was saying something about like if you activate David's harp on David, or if you had it active like the last turn, and then it's your next turn, and you play Oath of Purity to bounce David,
mhm.
you can't put David back down to then do a first time activation of David's harp. Is that correct in the same phase?
Right, yeah. So if an artifact is deactivated by any means, whether it's you deactivating it or the character and place it's activated on gets taken out of play, then you can't activate that artifact uh, that turn.
Okay, that turn,
Right. Yep.
or is it a phase?
It's the entire turn.
Oh, so you can't even like deliver to it to get
Right. Yep.
wow.
Yeah, it's
All
kind
right.
of strange how it had to work out that way. Like it definitely took a chunk out of and Thummim, like because you can't activate and Thummim and then reactivate the artifact that you had active before that,
Oh
which is unfortunate.
man.
But that was kind of the main downside of it, I guess.
Mm.
Let's go ahead and play Lord's Prayer. Go grab Mace Road. Huh, that's interesting. Oops, that's not where that goes. That goes to my deck. Shuffle that. That's very interesting. Okay, I don't think there's a way I can do that though. So let's play. Let's play Mace Road. I'm gonna go to my reserve for the Coming Prince.
Okay. Nice one.
I'm not gonna discard that. I'm gonna send that to my
Great
deck.
card.
Oh yeah, I'm a fan. It's a lot better when you're not negating my Joshua, but
Yeah.
here we are.
All right.
Okay, let's put down. Oh, I was missing one more. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Angel of the Winds, silver. That was the other brigade.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
For some reason, I was counting 8 somehow, but I'm sure I just double counted something. Yeah, I think I double counted red. And then that doesn't do anything. So I guess use CBN. Let me take a good card from my reserve. Alright, let's use Oath of Purity to bounce Jotham and Foreign Wives.
Okay.
Nope. Looking at my reserve, not my hand. Okay. So yeah, Jotham and Foreign Wives in my hand. And then I think I will make a rescue attempt with Jotham. We'll convert him to Meek. Take a good card from my reserve, which will be Let's do Faith of Barak. Barrack, however you want to say it, I don't know. And then I will ban to who's big? He's big. Let's ban to Hezekiah. Oh, yeah. Keep on forgetting to use my Joshua.
Yeah, I was like, didn't you want to use Joshua or Jehoshaphat or?
Jehoshaphat, I was kind of fine with leaving him out, but yeah, I guess Joshua probably would have been good because then we could underdeck your Babel so that your messenger would draw that instead of whatever your other bottom two are.
Let's see. Mm, so you've got big numbers.
Yeah, I'm 13, 14.
13, 14. Okay. Well, guess we're doing this. And so I'm not going to draw, but I can take an anti-human from deck.
Mm-hmm. Anti-human hero, right? Yeah. I guess you probably don't have too many other anti-human evil characters, but
Nope. Okay. So my initiative.
Yeah. See, do I have any triggers, blocks? Don't think so. Yeah, what you got?
Let's we'll kill Jotham.
Jotham is yeah, he's discarded. Minish.
My initiative to play a dominant.
I guess so. Finally got it out of you.
Yeah. If it was a shipwreck, I would have shipwrecked Storehouse long ago.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh,
Is that it?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Work?
If I had, okay, so if what I should have done is Jehoshaphat, and then ban to Joshua, and then Joshua exchange. So that way, even if you negate Jehoshaphat, then
Yeah.
the
No,
other
the
guys,
Joshua
the other guy stays
is
in.
no question gotta happen right here.
Yep.
I mean, I would even argue if you could somehow pull a Joshua to get a Noah in, underdeck the Babylon and shuffle the Patmos or something like that. But I don't know. You don't want to give me a D9.
Right. Yeah.
But I love that Joshua Noah. Man, that is so strong.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think that's how, or like where Prophets of Gibeath fits in here, because it gives you that link between them. Joshua, Jehoshaphat, prophets, Noah. But yeah, I don't know. It still just feels a little bit too.
Okay.
Too
You think
loose.
I can finish the game here?
I really hope so.
Okay, so I got woes on whatever. I guess harp is good now or something.
Sure.
And then I'll throw this down. We'll see what's in here, I guess. So shuffle this card pretty good. Oh crud, there isn't. But then I can send a helper on my Ephesian Widow, put her down, get back life in the sun. Right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I probably should have just put woes on your Send the Helper, I suppose. I was like, oh, I don't really care if he takes a card from his reserve, but the Bounce a Clay hero, that definitely, yeah, that'll definitely do it. All right, 2 cards. Oh, okay, there we go.
I'll angel my own fallen star, and you just know to shuffle my woes. Finally.
Nice.
Well, good game, man.
Yeah, good game.
Played
Man.
it better than I did, but
I think if I had played
so
it as
but you
well
did
as,
have more. But you did have one more play. You had one, sorry, one more meat guy.
yeah, I
So
think,
you could have emptied me of the evil at first
well, yeah,
turn.
because I bounced your damsel too. So if I just played Jehoshaphat as Meek, then I would have been like super safe. You would have just
Dang.
gotten, you'd have gotten to block with damsel, and you would have gotten a draw two, I think.
Wow.
Or did I have? No, I put Storehouse down right away. So yeah, I guess you wouldn't have gotten to draw any. Oh man.
Storehouse was doing work.
Yeah, I think people are going back and forth on it because of the, trapping Pharisees and terrifying beasts and everything. But
Uh,
in a matchup like this, it's really good. I think you
Oh yeah.
just kind of got to be careful to put it down right away. I don't know. It's like maybe wait till you're the discard phase of your first turn once you kind of like figure out what their defense is. But on the other hand, like if they've got Damsel or Lying Prophet, then you can stop that with Storehouse on the first turn. So it's a little bit of a toss up, a little bit risky.
The Herod's Temple was Storehouse,
Okay.
but I wanted to play Herod's Temple because it's so good with Bart and Mary with Bart and Herod's Temple.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I
like
mean,
the tossing there.
yeah, like if it's like okay, they just blocked with. There's a lot of standard blocks, but it's still Firefoxes was still a good block, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like with SSS coming back in the new phase 2,
Yep.
I mean, it's like, man, you've got some major value with Herod's Temple, and I haven't even, barely seen any of the new NT humans that are worth blocking with alone.
Right. Yeah, I think the way to do it with the defense, like you do like Simon the Host and maybe like the Gatekeeper Maid, so the choose the rescuer ones, like those are really good with Herod's Temple as well. It's like, I
Ooh,
just choose your Ephesian Widow to attack and then, activate Herod's Temple. And you got to start, tossing a lot, especially with Simon,
yeah. And
who's at
Pot,
311.
right?
Yeah, Pilot too. Um, yeah, I think you have to have a Roman and you get to switch. And that's with discard pile too, so you can just keep on doing it with the same hero.
Oh,
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I thought that some of those are going to be really broken, like medium, but then like they didn't really wind up seeing a whole lot of play.
Yeah, I feel
But
like
when they
Pilot's gonna
work, they
be
work.
Pilot I think is gonna be more popular. And I think medium should be, but like just doesn't fit in kind of as many of like the popular defenses. And I think the conditional like CBP for King Saul is kind of a hurts it too.
Oh yeah,
But I don't know, it's got decent numbers, so Babel isn't super likely to hit it. So it's more like Noah and stuff that would prevent it, but I don't know. Like if you've got, a Babel up or something and you just keep on going to Angel of the Winds, it seems pretty good.
right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited
Hey,
to try out Pontius Pilate and stuff.
so you're playing Type 1 this year.
I think so, yeah, because Type 1 is pretty much by itself at Nationals, so I think it's Type 1 and Type A.
There you go.
So
So, do you have an idea of what you're going to be playing at Nationals yet, or are you going to try to compete to win?
um I don't have like a great idea yet. I guess I am, depending on how things go, I'm a little bit tempted to just do commentary on that day for Type 1. So I might not play.
Oh, come on, you
But
gotta play. You're
yeah,
the best player.
I kind of like. I feel like I should probably utilize the, you know, uh, prime years, so to speak. Like, when you're young and can, I don't know, like commentary is for, or commentating is for like old people, right? Once you're already experienced and have enough wins, and like maybe I should have a type 1 win before,
Okay, so
commentating, right?
Nationals is what, 2 months away? It's August, early August, right?
Late July. Yeah, last weekend in July. So just under
Last
two
weekend.
months.
So it's under 2 months away.
Yep.
Okay, Jade, this is what I challenge you to do. All right?
Uh-oh.
This is what I challenge you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have been building new decks, and like, I look at your YouTube, you've been building new combos and strategies and all kinds of cool stuff, and like it's awesome to see the variety.
Mm-hmm.
But in maybe you do this privately, I don't know, but I want to see you really commit to something and like really fine tune and refine it and make it your own, and you know what I'm saying, like go with that one thing.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I feel like if I were to pick something right now, like if Nationals was, this coming weekend or whatever, I would probably do like some like post-exilic variant because that's what I feel like the most confident with, I guess, or like I don't know if it's necessarily the best. Like I don't know if it's like a Jehu thing or if it's just other like hand control kind of stuff. Other than without like trying to necessarily build around Jehu, but yeah, I think that's probably where I would lean. So yeah, that's something that I might explore a little bit more, is just kind of finding like what the best post exilic build in this meta is. But I'll take your challenge into consideration. We'll see what happens.
yeah, man, I really want to challenge you, and like, whatever it is, I just want to see you commit to it and like really make it your own and really make it sharp. Because I've just, this is what I've seen so many times, Jade. I've seen you build a ton of great decks. That's what I've seen you do,
Mm-hmm.
and it's awesome. But I know that no matter how smart you are, that you get to that place where you're like, wait, was this in this deck, or what was it? I mean, because by the time that you got, your game 6 in the Nationals, I mean, your head's spinning.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, unless you've got something that is hyper refined, that you've, goldfished 300 times, it's like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, who am I?
Yeah.
Game 6, game 7 at Nationals, you're exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to know that thing to the bone. And I mean, that's what I did with Children of Light. That's what I did with the Widow deck and the Lackey Grand Prix. I mean, that wasn't a big tournament, but it was a big deal to me because, I haven't really been playing in tournaments, and I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was a super cool deck. And I felt like I took that deck to like the fullest, where it was like turn one, they're going to know if they lose.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then that deck warranted, it's like, okay, we've got to change these rules.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like I took it to the fullest.
You did? No, you actually did with the 100 card version.
But no, you definitely had the most like refined, consistent version.
But
That's for
honestly,
sure.
how consistent was that 100 card version?
Um, I'm gonna say like not as consistent as the type, or I was gonna say the type 1 version, the 50 card version. That's for sure. But I feel like it's more consistent than you would think. Like
Because I
I
saw you beat Ken with it.
Yeah, and I did get a little bit lucky there, but that
That was
was
huge.
him going first and having, what did he have right away? He had something right away that I just happened to have the answer to that allowed me to do it, and I think I like had to mayhem or something into, like I had to kind of luck into it a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Um, but like I'm pretty sure I had it like in my opening 8. Then I just had to kind of luck into something else to get around the counter that he put down on his turn. But um, yeah, it definitely wasn't like, you know, like 80-90% of games, but I feel like it was maybe at the very least like 50-50. So
That's not good enough.
well, I mean, not gonna bring
That's
that
not
to
good enough for
nationals,
you.
but
You gotta win, dude. I want you to win nationals, man. I want you, dude. I mean, I'm hyping everybody up for nationals. Like, I'm not even planning on going.
yeah.
But and I mean, it's a whole thing. And you know what? I mean, I'm not trying to. Don't take this the wrong way, Jaden.
Hmm.
But I feel like the reason you change your decks up so much is is actually an insecurity. And while you try to make it a security, because this is just my perception. I mean,
Okay.
you're the brother of Jordan and Jaden. I mean, they are like some of the highest level. Like, you're like one of the highest level like players in the game. You know,
Hmm.
and your brothers are also some of the highest level players in the game. So it feels like maybe the reason why you would like always change your decks up is because you're so used to such a high frequency of play with your brothers that, if you can get into that, they don't know at least half of the deck that I'm playing, then that starts to turn your 50-50 win rate into maybe like a 60-40,
Hmm.
just because you can capitalize on the mystery. But what I found is that, I mean, the Johnny deck is great. The Johnny decks are great. I
Hmm.
mean, in Redemption, for sure, the Johnny decks are great.
Yep.
But it's like you've got to have that combo like so refined, and you've got to be so in tune with your deck. And I mean, card for card, and don't change it. You know what I mean? Like, don't change it last minute unless you just absolutely know. Like, there's been so many times I've kicked myself even for changing one card. It was like 2019. I changed one card, and I changed out Covenant with Adam for Golden Calf,
Hmm.
and it was like the one card that I needed. Uh, I needed Covenant with Adam, not Golden Calf. And
Right.
it was like that last game with John Early on stream, and it was like, if I had Covenant with Adam, this game would have gone a completely different direction. And that's the whole reason why I had that card in there, was because
Yeah.
I knew. But yeah, man, I mean, like, you're an amazing player, and that's where I feel like it's almost like if you were playing, like if you were able to just totally tune in and just play that like one deck that just, like the back of your hand for like the season, or at least just for nationals. And I'm saying, like, goldfish this thing for a month, like get like 200-300 in before nationals
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah. I mean, I think like, I mean, I would say that the main reason that I switch up decks as frequently as I do now is mostly just for content. Like, I just want to have a variety of, different decks out there that I'm showing off and
Oh,
playing, and like,
totally.
that's I find that more fun because like
Yeah.
I've never been like a super competitive type 1 player. Like, I'm, type 2 is kind of more of where I've put the competition because that's always been with type 1, and I just enjoy type 2 more. But yeah, I think like as we're kind of getting closer to nationals here, I do want to kind of refine a deck more. And like I've been using a post exilic deck of some variety in like some of the um like the paper tournaments. So like the Zoom ones on Saturdays, and then the Zoom tournament that Rob M has been doing. Um, so I have been kind of tweaking and refining uh, that deck a little bit. I just started card for card with the deck that Gabe posted that was post exilic and Pharisees.
Gabe
They're like kind
decks
of
are a
the hand
great
control.
place to start.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was kind of saying like he just took my post-exilic offense and Tyler's hand control defense and put them together, and I was like, oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. Like, let's try it out. And so
Not
I put it together. I played it card for the first round and the Rob M's Zoom tournament, and then I just kind of tweaked it throughout there or throughout that. And so I think that that's probably like what I'll continue doing for tournaments other than the Lackey Grand Prix, I guess, because this is what I use for content for the most part.
yeah.
Um, and so I just like to try out new decks, showing off, like this one that Chad built, which I thought was really cool because it feels pretty similar to post exilic, and obviously there were a number of things that didn't translate exactly that I definitely messed up in this game, but um,
Because how many times have you practiced with this deck before this game?
oh, I put this deck into Lackey like a few hours ago and did
Yeah.
maybe like 3 goldfishes with it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got it like
honestly, you played it really well, but like, yeah, that's the way to go. Is just full all the meek stuff down, and then
mhm.
blast them with the IJ before they can get anything.
Yeah, it's definitely a deck that you need like goldfishing is one thing, but you need at least like a few games to really get the hang of it. Like I mean this is what Chad was saying in his article is like he had this deck in a very like early stage, and he played it against me when I was using one of Jeremy's decks. It was for a video, and then um, I won that game. But Chad said like he learned a lot, made a lot of changes to the deck, and I don't think he's lost with it since.
Mm.
So it was kind of like a really big learning game for him, and I feel like that was sort of what this was for me. Not like learning what to change about the deck, but just like learning how to play the deck and, remembering,
I
okay,
mean,
I've
dude,
got
I got
Joshua that can
super
come in.
lucky, man. You came in, and the fifth one was Chronicles.
Yeah.
I mean,
But,
I think that
but,
might be the. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but that might be the only way to even stop that. I mean, I
well,
guess
I
it,
mean, so
I
Chronicles
guess
or
I could,
Woes.
but I would
Um,
have to have them in my hand.
yeah. So I think, I mean, the best way, or I guess maybe the most reliable way is if you have Second
You hit
Coming
me
in your
like that, I
hand.
wouldn't have had anything.
If you have if you have Second Coming in your hand, that's kind of the most reliable way because you can use that to grab Chronicles or Woes. But then, of course, you're spending
So
a
basically,
freebie,
you are depending on a dominant.
right? So, I mean, I think,
I'm almost thinking that deck, because this deck does not play Bane Philosophy, correct?
correct, yeah.
Mayhem,
So I think,
Proud's Choice.
I mean, I think in the post-exilic deck that I've been playing, I've been doing Meat Claw Souls because that's what Gabe had, and that's what kind of worked with the Pharisees. Um, I think if I switch that deck up, I do not Meat Claw Souls to switch up the defense a little bit, and I put Vain Philosophy in instead of Harvest Time. So I think Vain Philosophy is really good. Like you said that uh, it was a week or two ago now. Just like Vain Philosophy is super good. I'm always like, yeah, it's a really good card. It's why I like, I'd be tempted to put Moabite Camp in a gray defense just because it's a Vain Philosophy on an evil character. It's like,
Nice, nice. Really?
I said I did do it in my like one of my early on hand control
Ooh,
decks.
ooh, that's really good.
It's like especially on turn one, like that's a pretty good block because it's a 7/12. There's a lot of red
Yeah,
cards going around with all the meek stuff.
dude. You want to know another guy that's not seeing much play lately that should be?
There's that.
Emperor Tiberius.
He's pretty good too. I think that he's maybe with Pontius Pilate he'll come back,
Dude,
see a
he
little
used
more
to be
play.
such a boss because it's like they're coming in, and what do they got? Angel, and it's like,
Yep.
and he's got a big body. Now we got Herod's Temple, like he can snag the Angel, and then like okay, time to toss, and it's like, okay, David's got overcome,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah.
Timber's like,
Like do so Emperor Tiberius with Herod's Temple, and then like
yeah,
take out, you can take out Chronicles, you can take out Woes, all those dominants that people are relying on for
yeah,
battles, or maybe not relying on, but just have as kind of their
yeah.
security
And
blanket or
Sorrow,
whatever.
I mean, Sorrow of Mary is a really good card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sorrow of Mary, False Leaders is another little combo that I think is underrated. I just don't like
Man,
False Leaders with Babel being so prevalent.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, the that Humble Soul was getting so much mileage for Josh with Firefoxes.
Mm,
But Herod's Temple, another thing about Herod's Temple I really liked that I just realized the other day was that it's protect gospel humans in territory from harm.
right.
So it's your good and evil.
Yep.
And I was like, man, that's really strong protection on that temple.
Right. Yeah. Especially with Simon going around, like protecting your evil characters from Simon is it's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, and also something that I've been trying to kind of figure out how to fit, but I don't know if it's really necessary. It might be a little redundant with this deck, but Tyler was talking about Temple Veil, and I was like, man, that is a really good card. You got the bounce on there. You can activate it in Herod's Temple, and then deactivate it, keep it safe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, site access, even that's good, but Temple Veil was one that I was looking at that was like, dang, yeah, because Urim, I mean, that card gets so much mileage.
Right. Yeah. The thing I don't like about Temple Veil is that it can only bounce a gospel hero. Like if it could bounce any character or even just a human,
Right, right.
you're even just a hero, that would even be better. But just like it's like I just want Book of the Law because it bounces a human, and it's a little bit more versatile. And there's a lot of other stuff to look at hands, but I don't know.
Yeah, a lot better.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I guess if you're running Herod's Temple, though, it's hard to pass up being able to activate.
Yeah,
Um,
Book of the Law with Yeshua is like legit.
right.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's really critical. So are you still running Infinitab, or is it too many brigades?
Um, I I'm still liking it. Like, I mean, that would maybe be like the second deck of choice. Um, after posties. I thought about using it today, but I mean, I used it at Iowa State, which was streamed, and used it against Rob Smith in the finals of the last Lackey Grand Prix. So I figured that, um, I just wanted to give something new a try, and I figured it would be a good opportunity to show off this sweet deck from Chad. So
Yeah, man, it's a great deck, and I mean, you accomplished the objective, and I'm pretty sure that I think you would have won the game if you had gone all in on the IJ.
yeah, I think there's definitely a couple things that I could have played differently on that first turn that would have probably won me the game. Uh,
Because that would have been all my evil cards, man. That would have been 5 evil cards from my hand. I would have had 3 good cards left in my hand. That's it.
right. Um, yeah, I needed to get your Punisher off the table too. Like I would have rescued. I think you maybe still had Humble out at that point. But I would have rescued
I
either Humble
I
or
don't know,
Punisher.
man. Maybe that deck is really, really good, and we're just like barely figuring it out now.
Yeah, I mean, I I took Chad's word for it. Like it does seem pretty good. Um, I mean, I guess I didn't take his word for it completely because I wanted to try it out, but I believed him that it was really good because like I think I don't know. I do think that there's some risk in, like, if I go first, get rid of all your evil cards, and then you just have a really explosive turn after that, then you can set up enough to um, make it so that the impartial judgment didn't really hurt you. But going second like that, well, once you already had a chance to go in with Matthew and accrue some resources, like if the impartial judgment did work, then yeah, then that would have been kind of a devastating blow for you, especially with my storehouse down to shut down a lot of your drawing. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I think it's still a little bit of a toss up as far as like how devastating the first turn impartial judgment is. But I mean, I think that this is the best way to implement it, or it's definitely the best way so
Okay,
far.
so does that deck have AOC?
No,
It does not.
correct. Yeah.
Okay, please just add AOC.
Well, so I mean, it kind of does in David's Descendant.
Because I used David's Descendants and it totally let me down. And if it was AOC, it would have been way better.
You think so?
And you can AOC twice with Coming Prince.
Yeah, that's true. It just doesn't feel like. Then I feel like I'd have to force a Simon in there somehow, which maybe he could just chill in reserve.
I mean, what do you need a Simon for? If I go for, this is what happened. I was playing a game with Josh, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he went first, got the Matthew, got a huge Matthew hand limit, and then guess what? He puts down 5 evil characters because he drew so many cards. Okay, so then I come in turn 1, Matthew ride AOC.
Sure.
With like draw to hand limit, and I see that he has no evil characters in his hand now because he put them all down.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that worked. I mean,
yeah, that's true. I guess like
that option. Like, I like the Davis Descendants, but when you got that option of you can impartial or AOC,
mm-hmm.
because AOC doesn't depend on how many meek heroes you got down. I guess you're gonna have them anyway, but
yeah, that was kind of the next thing that I was thinking about testing with my post-exilic deck, is put Simon and AOC in reserve. Maybe AOC just in the main deck, because the way I run it, I usually have David and Jehoshaphat in there, so I've got purple to play it on.
Yeah, yeah, AOC is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, even if not on a meek disciple, yeah, it's still pretty good. Problem with that, I guess, is I do run the cross in the current version.
Oh.
I don't
so
know.
What cross? Like, what does the cross meta look like right
now? Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like I just haven't seen people playing it a whole lot. But I don't know. I feel like maybe it's just too easy to disrupt.
My question is, what, like, because I noticed that Zach put the cross into his Iowa State deck, and you say that you're playing the cross in that deck. Mm-hmm. So, like, at what point are you using the cross, or how is the cross serving you a clear advantage?
So,
and at what of the game,
Yeah, I think like it's just with a deck where you're able to kind of get a swing play like that, like Impartial Judgment, where you just kind of tip the game a little bit into your favor. I think the cross just helps you maintain that a little bit more, because then your opponent can't use their dominance to catch up. And then benefit of building around the cross and not having as many enhancements that are tossed by it is, also kind of helps to tip the game in your favor a little bit. Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like most of like the decks where I feel like I want to play it, I think, are ones where I can play Golgotha and get value of searching for an evil character, and so that I have that other location to activate the cross. So I feel like I have to be playing some kind of gospel defense, or at least have a few targets for Golgotha in order
Yeah.
to feel like that's worth it. And maybe it is anyway, just because of the CBP enhancements. But and I'm sure some people would argue that it's worth it just for being able to hold the cross. But uh, if I'm not using gospel evil characters, then I just feel like Golgotha isn't worth it. And if Golgotha isn't worth it, then I feel like the cross isn't worth it.
Yeah, see, I don't feel like the cross is worth it, because you always have to toss, whereas with Herod's Temple you can choose when to toss,
Mm-hmm.
and it's limiting your DOMs, which if you want to limit DOMs, I guess I just feel like there's other ways to get what you need without um, causing yourself to be set back also. But like with Zach's deck, I could see the theory of using the cross in that deck, because it's like, okay, well, if he can win with Child and get all his DOMs out fast,
Mm-hmm.
and then play them and then set up the cross, well, then potentially he can stall them from being able to play. I see that theory, and I mean, that's exactly what I did with the Ephesian Widow deck, was with the cross and Golden Calf and all that, because I mean, it's like Jesse, Obed, Golden Calf, cross. I mean, it's just like
Yeah.
all that turn one, and they lose like three good cards and a evil card or something, and it's just like there's nothing they can do turn one. But it's like, because I knew that turn one I was always gonna be able to play my Son of God Second Coming, and whatever, and then and woes, and then put up the cross.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's like, without that, because that was just to like cut that last lifeline. You know what I'm saying? It's like the cross it's like, if you've got the crowd's choice to somehow get to that other card that might get you some way through this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, here's the cross.
Yeah.
And that was like just such a sealer.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, like, unless you're getting a like very obvious turn one lead to be able to play something on Second Coming, it's like you're playing at the end of the game. Like, you're deactivating the cross at the end, maybe, to play Son of God Second Coming before theirs.
Right. Yeah.
Is that your idea with what
I
you
think,
got going?
yeah, that's kind of like, it's either that, or if I do get them early, like I'm probably not going to search for them early to play them before the cross, but I think that there's enough stuff I can put down in that deck where it's like I don't really like I might just be ending my turn with, 6 dominance and 2 other cards in my hand, and can still be sort of comfortable with that. Um, which is just kind of weird. But I also think like just the way that um, the hand control elements work with that deck. So not even just impartial judgment, but I've got um, High Priest Plot. I think is in the current version. First Sacrifice, Teaching in Parables. Um, and then once I put Vain Philosophy in there, if I drop Vain Philosophy, and the other cards, I hit like your, I guess whatever combination of them that I have early on. If I hit your non-dominance and then, do the cross, then it just, cripples most of your hand, like most of your uh, speed, I guess. So
Oh, that's a good point.
I don't know. It's not like
That's actually a really good point.
I think the cross has a like I definitely don't think it's a staple. Um, I think there are some decks where it works more in your favor than seems like it should. I don't know.
No, that's a really good point, though. And I never even thought to use it that way, to just like attack their hand and leave them with their dominance and then
Right.
put up the cross. So it's like, what do you got now?
Yeah.
Because if they're
Yeah.
holding 4 doms and they got 8 cards, I mean, if you just print up the cross, you probably just got half their hand.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's like and it's not like they want to discard them.
No
So,
way.
it's like, you know,
If
if
you
it,
holding on to them to the bitter end.
right, yeah. So
That's a
it's,
great point, Jaden.
I don't know. I think the thing is just like there's a lot of ways to disrupt it with all the negate neutrals and stuff. So you do have to, that's where I guess the Golden Cross thing really shines, I guess, because you can prevent their Obed and stuff. But
Yeah, I don't know. Like the cross became kind of lackluster for me. After like basically, I feel like I got like the fullest value out of it because it was just like before the rule change, obviously.
right,
That was just such an intense lock. But
yeah,
like this, now it's like, I'm leaning more towards like Book of the Covenant and stuff like that. That's going to get me, more fuel. This didn't really come around this game, and I actually put Send the Helper in main deck. Luke's build has Send the Helper in reserve, but I put this in main deck because I was just like, this build is way too dependent on Book of the Covenant to get to some really important cards. But
sure,
that's kind
yeah.
of where I was like,
Oh, okay,
man,
wow.
I'm just gonna put Send the Helper main deck because then if I don't get Book of the Covenant, if I don't see Book of the Covenant like I did this game, at least I still have Send the Helper, which is phenomenal.
Right. Yeah, I
And
mean,
simple and
yeah, definitely before the reserve rule change, like I was playing Book of the Covenant with Oath of Purity in reserve, and then Book of the Law in main deck in most of the decks where I had like flip heroes, like post exilics mostly. And so I think having the same kind of setup where you have one option in main deck with Send the Helper and then Oath of Purity in reserve is definitely uh, a good way to go. And
I
then
kind
You Will Remain is great with Disciples, and New Covenant is a staple with them, obviously. So
But
yeah.
man, so I moved Foreign Wives and Judean Mediums to the reserve after seeing Zach's list and playing with it, and just feeling like that just makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But then I forgot. I just realized that I forgot to add the Deceiver
Oh
to this
no.
build, so I didn't even have a way to get him this game.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering. Like, I feel like the Deceiver's got to come out at some point, but I can't really, afford to play around Judean mediums in most of those turns. So I was just like, oh well,
Because this is gonna happen a few times.
right.
I mean, that's really, really like because this usually gets angeled,
Yep.
but this one,
That one usually gets AOC'd, right? No.
that CBN man, yeah, that one's got to get AOC'd for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I feel like King of Tyrus is not reliable enough for my taste anymore.
Really,
I just feel like too many people are
well,
playing Disciples.
this game though,
Well, I mean, yeah, it worked in this game, but like,
yeah,
throughout
but you got way more negate.
7 to 10 games in Nationals, like how
Yeah,
many of them are going to be against Old Testament decks like this? I don't know. Maybe it'll be a pretty good split, but Disciples are going to be all over the place. So I don't know. I guess the
so
protection from dominance is still decent,
with the
even if
new rule,
you're.
if I do blasphemies to take blindness, okay,
Yep.
and then you do something like interrupt battle, like Royal Parade.
Yep.
Would I have blindness with a special initiative, or is it already gone back?
It would have gone back. Yeah,
Okay.
it would interrupt. Like if so, yeah, it would interrupt the last, or as long as Blasphemies was the last card you played, then that whole ability would be interrupted. And so, yeah, you would not have blindness. What's up, Chad? How's it going?
Hey guys, how did the game play out?
Well, you didn't watch the video?
No, I had family over.
Well, the video will be coming out in a few days. That was the joke.
Oh, okay,
But
cool.
I suppose you could have
Oh,
been
nice.
watching on Lackey as well, which I guess, yeah, you are here. But um, I messed it up. I'm sorry, Chad.
It's all good. What happened?
Get
Yeah.
this, man. Get this. All right. So he comes in. He comes in. All right. He's got IJ for 4.
Which
He
turn?
blasts me for turn 1. Awesome things. IJ for 4. Okay.
That's pretty good.
Blasts my hand. Guess what I have?
What?
I have 5 evil cards, and I have Chronicles.
You have a... Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
But he had.
I had the option.
He could have played 5 down.
I got greedy.
Yep.
So
No, he didn't get greedy enough.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I got greedy because I wanted your damsel as well, because you had damsel in territory, and so I go in with Jehoshaphat to bounce her, and then ban to
Oh.
David, convert him to
But
Meek,
why did you bounce damsel?
because I got greedy, like I was saying. I was like, if I bounce her, then I could discard her as well. I think with
I get it.
I think I just wasn't thinking about the fact that I had Storehouse already, and how like she wouldn't do anything.
But wait,
Yeah.
why
But
would bounce her discard her? What?
because it puts her back in your hand.
But why?
So he was thinking he could IJ you enough that you didn't have enough evil cards that the IJ would hit damsel too.
Oh, you bounced.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Oh.
pretty sure when I looked at your hand on your turn that you didn't have King of Tyrus, but I think you drew it off of Life in the Sun in your discard phase.
So
So
JD
Oh,
went
he was one off.
first.
yeah,
I
JD went
That's
first.
turn one with you.
Got a solid draw 8 off of Matthew.
Hmm.
And I think I would have had it if I get that impartial judgment correctly.
Yeah, you probably would have. You would have been okay then.
'Cause
know that. Oh man, yeah, I've had a couple games like that. So there's a kid in my play group, and he plays Blood and Fire, and so he's running the demon defense. And the play he's done to me, I think twice now, is he'll keep Abaddon in hand, and so he'll Abaddon my IJ, and that's a smart play. And so he's pulled that off. Now those games, they were close, like 5-4, but I came back and won the game. But I think it's just I played the deck a lot, so I know how to play it, even if I haven't IJ'd it.
No, your write-ups are amazing, and I really want to. I mean, could we maybe get like? Could I maybe like watch y'all play, like where you play it?
A game?
Yeah.
I gotta do it tonight, but yeah, I love. We can maybe do that sometime on the channel. Yeah, the deck is good, but I actually think it will lose a matchup against a Widow Disciple deck. Like, it really depends. If your deck goes first, see, I would think ideally you'd be getting a counter up like Calf or something like that, and then I'm having to use Zion to go to Joshua or something like that. So I really think it comes down to who goes first, is my opinion, if it's played right. Now, Jaden, I get the play. Like, I would be tempted to do the same to clear out the evil character, but especially if Storehouse is there, then yeah, definitely the right play is to leave Damsel there and just hit for 4.
Right.
Or no, hit for 5. Hitting for 5, if you got that turn 1,
Yeah.
that's ideal. But I get it. I probably would have been tempted to do the same thing. But yeah, I think this matchup, it's definitely one that it depends on who goes first. So because like Tyler has this deck that he built, and he posted on his channel a while ago, and have you switched up Luke's build a bit, JD, from what it was? Like, it looks maybe a bit different. I don't know if he had Herod's Temple in there.
Yeah, I added Herod's Temple, send the helper to main deck, stuff like that. Like, pretty simple things that I just felt like made more sense, generally speaking, that I see other people doing in their decks, stuff like that.
No, Herod's Temple's so smart because against like the defense that this deck runs, the Zion deck, You just, if you go in with like Bart or something like that, then I block with a little dude like Profane. You're just tossing, you know. So
Yep.
that's a smart play. But yeah, I think like so Tyler, the deck that he has had on that channel, which I'm sure he's refined by now, but it was Widow first combo, Disciple deck. He's going for Calf Cross, Lockdown turn one. He's got Church of Christ, and he's going for IJ turn one for like 7 or 8 with Church of Christ. And so that deck is scary. And I haven't seen anyone on the Rebels Temple Discord talk about it, but I saw that and I saw that video and I was like, this thing's nuts. Like I don't think it'll go off every turn.
8 1.
Yeah, with Church of Christ. Like,
what are you doing? So how are you playing IJ with cross up reliably turn one?
So you don't. I mean, in this deck, the deck that I have here, I'm getting a Keem if they get the cross.
Well, I think
and that's
he's talking about in like the deck that you're talking about with Tyler setting up.
Oh, Tyler. Yeah. Well, that deck doesn't have to do IJ. See, that's the thing. You can just do typical Disciple stuff too. So it's just if you're able to do it, awesome. If not, it's not a big deal. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if with that deck you don't even need IJ. In all honesty, like you just turbo with first combo, Ephesian Widow speed, get set up, do Disciple stuff, and lock down the board with your counters. You're gonna win, you know, if you go first. Like it's too fast, too consistent. There's no way around it. So like that's what I was talking about when you asked me, JD, on the channel if I thought Zion could win Nats. I said no, and it's because I've seen that deck, and I'm like, if someone takes that and really optimizes that deck, if that deck goes first, it wins. It just does. It's too fast. It has 2 broken speed combos, which are still broken with the first and Widow combo, and together you're going to consistently at least hit one of those on the first turn, plus Matthew, and get your counters, lock down the board, have this super strong Disciples rescues. It's game. So I don't think like this deck, it's really good, and I've done really well with it this year even against, you know, other Disciple variant decks, it's done really well. Like this one that you're running here, I think it can beat it. But against a deck like that, I don't think it wins. If it goes first and it pulls off IJ and gets rid of some resources, maybe. But if it goes second, it loses to that deck. And that's kind of what I think right now. But Tyler's running that.
Have you tested the Zion deck much against like Zach's deck that he won with Iowa State?
The closest thing I faced is that Blood and Fire deck, which is basically the same deck but red offense. It has the cross. It actually runs Coliseum too. So that deck that the kid in my playgroup's running, it runs both the cross and Coliseum because he's doing the big red band capped off by Benaya or with weapons like shields, temple spears, and shields, stuff like that. And he runs the big demon defense, everything. So when I saw Zach's deck, it's like, wow, this is like the same premise, but the big red offense instead of the white stuff. And yeah, Zion,
super fast though.
It is. Yeah, it's faster.
I mean, you've got so much access.
Yeah, you got all the searching. I would say though that red deck is just as fast too because you get David, and then you know you're getting your band. You get Benaya from reserve. Turn 2, turn 1, you swing with a decent band, backed by the cross or Coliseum. Like that's hard to get around, you know.
Nice.
So that deck's pretty consistent. Like what it was is I took Derek's deck, and then I built it for him, and he worked with me on it, and we took it and just kind of sped it up a little bit, and made it for rotation. But yeah, Zach's is probably faster. I think this deck can beat Zach's deck. I think so.
I've been testing it, and it's been fairly even. I mean, I really like Zach's deck a lot. That's the other deck that I was thinking about running, Jade, when I said I couldn't pick.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been testing that one, and I mean, it's, you know, I'm still kind of exploring the general theory behind it, but I'm just loving the access, and you know, I mean, pretty much that turn 1 Fallen Star, and then you've got to the Jesse and Obed, you know, with the David, and you've got the I love that harp to love righteousness to fifth seal to overcome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. And Overcome gets so much value on David.
It's a solid deck, but I don't know if it beats an optimized Disciple variant deck that doesn't just run Matthew for speed. Because that's the key thing. If it's just running Matthew, yeah, then Zach's deck, you're not getting the big draw. He's a little brigade count. But if you're running Widow, first combo, stuff like that for diversified speed, I don't know if it really beats it that consistently, because the offense can really dispatch the demons with ease. The Disciple offense built right, all the regardless of protection, all the stuff that gets around it. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good deck, but I think like Josh's deck at the Iowa State, I mean, he even admitted he's moving on from it. It was just Matthew for speed. That was it. But, like this deck that Luke's running, it's got Widow combo. Rob Smith's deck has Widow combo. Or he has first combo in that. So I think those decks are better than the one Josh is running. And
Josh's deck is really good.
It's a good deck, but like this deck is better that you're running right here. It's good, but I think this is a better deck. I mean, what do you think, Jaden?
I think you're right about Life in the Sun, Widow like still being relevant. I think what a lot of people are doing is just not running enough of the Disciples to really think it was still relevant. But like, I mean, everybody's running Simon and Matthew. Bart makes sense. And
Bart is incredible, dude. Bart has won me games now. Like Bart making dominant or do the CBN thing and get a soul out. I mean, seriously.
Right.
I mean, this stuff CBN is smoking hot. And then I've also got I've played Spirit as a Dove on Noah to make good NT enhancements. Blast them with like love one another. That's incredible. You're preventing enhancements. You get to shuffle whatever is messing you up, and then boom, you got CBN enhancements. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of pretty good stuff going on here. I love this. This is actually just a phenomenal battle winner.
Yep. Even on Noah.
and it gets through High Priest Ananias too.
CBN on Bart, and that's why I love that untouchable, that single brigade untouchable.
Yep.
And also that 7 toss for Herod Temple. That's stuff that Josh has been doing. And that's where I'm feeling like he's got a good grip on Clay, but now he's scoping White because Life in the Sun, or Life Through Christ was ruled to be able to go get Matthew again. And I really like that Temple dedication and Life Through Christ for 24 Elders in Zach's deck.
Yeah, that's super good.
I really like that.
That was a good play, the protection for 24 Elders. Yeah, that's pretty smart.
So I kind of get that with Mary here, between Mary and Herod's Temple. And I mean, wow, Herod's Temple actually would be great for 24 Elders too, come to think of it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, like,
Herod's Temple. I like having this kind of toss. I like having this kind of toss power on these guys.
Yeah. I mean, like, you really don't need...
I mean, look
the
at that.
negate and the toss, but I guess like negating their banding, and then Herod's Temple is pretty good.
That is some push right there for sure. But yeah, that Herod's Temple, I mean, that gets you through Protected Wives, that gets you through that gets you through Red Dragon, that gets you through a CBN Protected Red Dragon.
Yeah. It's expensive.
That's the thing. The Disciple offense does great against demons. It really does.
Who would have thought Disciples good against demons? Like,
yeah.
So he had one card that he had in here was his sacrifice. So his sacrifice he had in here, and it is a really strong card, but I'm just not quite sure.
It's hard to fit in reserve because you have so many other covenants that you feel like you got to run. And it's like the effect isn't something that you can't achieve, I guess, with other enhancements. Like, I mean, you've got your Great Commission and you've got Love One Another that all do, and Authority of Christ even, that have kind of the same effect, but don't have the unity attached to it. That have either an interrupt or regardless of protect or just straight up CBN. So like his sacrifice is really good in this specific matchup where I'm playing against demons, but I don't know if it's good enough for like main decking it, especially if you're trying to do Jotham and Partial Judgment and you've got Noah as well. That kind of
right. Yeah, the NT Unity was the deal breaker, and the convert coming before the negate was like, okay, so it's not going to work against Nero. It's not going to work against Ananias, and that's where I cut it for untouchable.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, it makes
tosses
sense.
For the same. Yeah, and most people I feel like are playing their woes as good to like hit babbles and stuff, but I don't know, like people will play it as evil to hit your Judas or your Herod's Temple.
I mean, it's
Ephesian
like been
Widow.
babble storehouse for me lately with woes, and that's where I'm like, okay, which one is it going to be? Because
Right.
I'm playing as one or the other, and that's where I'm like, man, I need Noah just to shuffle this thing, and that's where I like, because I had Christian Martyr in here. I put Christian Martyr in instead of what Luke was running was Falling Away, but now I've cut Christian Martyr after this game for Shipwreck because Shield is so powerful, and so is Babel, and so is Storehouse. So it's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna have to hit. I'm gonna have to hit more of these fortresses, and that's where I feel like Joshua the Conqueror, just seems like he's doing so much work right now.
Oh, he's so good. The decks that can run him, he's really. I don't know why I didn't think of cutting Solomon in the Zion deck sooner for Joshua. I think it's because I like the hand spy, but the hand spy is a bit slow, and if you know the deck, you don't really need it. But yeah, him being in there is a huge difference maker, especially because he's so easy to get out. Yeah, that's one downside. Disciples is they can't run Joshua because he's the premium way to deal with, and even like Gates of Hell now, I'm seeing that a lot.
Gates
of Hell's back.
And man, Joshua just like see a Gates, like, whoa, okay, you just got sold.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like that's how I'm feeling about Shipwreck.
Yep. Oh yeah. It's good to run. Hey Jaden, how did the setup and consistency feel for you in the deck as you were running it?
It felt a little bit weird, I think, just because I had like 3 kings in my opening hand. And so, that's how I was able to get everybody, or like I was able to get, 4, or even I, could have gotten 5. It was a little bit awkward because I had to sort of play around Sheol. I had to play, or yeah, JD had Fallen Star and Sheol. So what I ended up doing, I drew Zion in my draw 3. So I put down one of my kings, used Zion to go grab David, I think. Yeah, I grabbed David. So he did hit 1 random card. But then I put down David, put down Jeshua, and played Delivered to activate Harp on David to shuffle Fallen Star.
Nice.
So that I could still sort of search freely because JD had 5 Lost Souls out on after doing all the drawing on his turn. So I was like, well, at least one of them will have to stay through Sheol. And I had Joshua on my opening hand too, and I think like I definitely could have played it a little bit better. Like I think I could have done a decent amount of my searching after the battle. Like I could have done Joshua first to I don't remember what all I was searching for at the beginning there. But I mean, definitely got 2 triggers with Zion and delivered. But yeah, I think like I mean I think I definitely had a good shot. I had to crowd's choice for Firefoxes in order to give me a chance, and that's what ended up.
Solid block.
That's what let me get to 3 basically. Like I think if it wasn't for that, well, I guess yeah, JD didn't draw Son of God Second Coming for a while. My storehouse kind of stalled his drawing, so maybe I still would have been able um, to get a few, but like the Firefoxes was really the block I needed.
Deck is doing it, man. The deck is doing it, and I think that it's pretty much just a matter of like the right people playing it and getting oriented with it and being able to play it consistently. Because I mean, it's working. I mean, clearly it's working, and it's just a matter of like if Jaden had played maybe 5 more games, he would have been like, "Oh yeah, this is definitely what I do right here."
Yeah.
And boom.
Yeah, the crowd's choice. That's an example. I really think that is it's been being viewed as a suboptimal dominant. But the thing is, if your deck is built right and has every tool, it has the effect of basically any dominant. It can be Shipwreck. It can be Martyr. It can be anything, and like right there.
Son of God, second coming, and all you need is Son of God.
Yeah, crowd's choice is huge. It really is. And especially in this deck, with Zion deck, what you're trying to do, early with the Impartial Judgment, it's great if you get it in your opening hand. But yeah, I love crowd's choice. I think it's really, really good. And I think it's been viewed a little bit wrong so far. I don't know. What do you guys think on that?
It's hard to say if it's worth the like additional dominant slot, but I guess like if offenses continue to kind of show that they have enough like unstoppable plays where it's like you can if there are 1 or 2 blocks in a game, that's a little bit surprising. Like if that's kind of the trend that we're seeing the meta go into, then I think crowd's choice is definitely played, because you just don't need all of like the resources that
I totally agree.
Otherwise would get.
And I feel like the more that what you need out of your deck, the more that crowd's choice is just going to enhance that consistency. And that's totally. I mean, that's what I saw with the Widow deck before the ruling change. I mean, crowd's choice was absolutely essential, and would just always make that combo tick. I mean, it's just a pure path to so many more paths. And that's where it is just there. No other dominant is going to give you that level of value turn 1.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. That's how I feel. If the deck is built to do something big, then it's definitely worth it. But even if not, like I just even like in Zach's deck, he's running it, and I think it fits in that deck. I do. The value you get out of it is huge. But yeah, no, this is cool. It's cool to see this game. And thanks for trying out the deck, Jaden. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for posting it, so I had something to try.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I think I don't think I'm sold on crowd's choice for every deck, but I think probably for the best decks is the way that I would see it.
That sounds wise. I think that's well put. But yeah, I wonder if we'll see, decks like what JD ran here, kind of once again Disciples variants taking the Grand Prix, because last time they did, but then you ended up pulling out the win, Jaden, against Rob at the end there. That was pretty cool with the Infinidab deal. So that was well done.
Yeah, let's see. Did I use crowd's choice in that? I don't think I did. I don't think I have crowd's choice in Infindab.
One thing about Iowa
Yeah.
State was that you ran 57. So did Josh, didn't he?
Yep.
Because at some point there was like a perception of like it's worth it, the deck's fast enough, and we get an extra dom.
Yeah, I mean, I think so my extra dominant at Iowa State was falling away. And I think that I guess my feeling about like why I could justify 57 is that like I wasn't necessarily trying to be like fast, like decking out or whatever. It was like the deck's more about power and then just kind of recycling the powerful rescue, and then like the defense was relatively sturdy, and so I was like, yeah, it's okay playing like a kind of more balanced 57 card deck and kind of having the resources to outlast my opponent. And I think that's kind of just the groove that I had gotten in a little bit, or kind of like the mindset that I had gotten in with playing in like the Grand Prix, even in playing like in the online tournaments with the hour time limit, like it's still like the Grand Prix is an hour and a half, so it's a really long time. The Zoom tournaments, it's an hour, which that one, I mean, kind of feels a little bit more normal because sometimes there are kind of the video things where you're just like asking what does that card do, and it does add time to that. But I think like I had just kind of gotten in that like rhythm a little bit where it's like the first game or the first round, Gabe was like, all right, I'm gonna start calling last round in 2 minutes, and I was like, we like just started, like what are you talking about? And so I think that like that was like yeah, the 57 just was a little bit too slow, at least in that build, and I think Josh probably feels the same way, even though his build was a bit faster with Matthew, to where in a 45-minute game I'm not going to win in time, and full wins, as we can see with Iowa State, they're important. Like I think both Justin and I timed out with wins in 3 of our games that we probably would have won if we had. I mean, like at least 2 of my games, I think, and 2 of Justin's. He said that like just 1 or 2 more turns, would have been a full win.
Wow!
But like that definitely makes the difference. Kind of like going back into tournament play, and realizing like, oh, okay, like you have to play a little bit differently than in like the online formats, I guess, that we've been used to.
Hey, Chad.
Yeah.
So I have some feedback for you on your deck.
Okay.
I think the defense is brilliant. Now that I feel like I understand what you're doing, like it feels like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like you just want to put as many meat guys as you can down turn 1 and then just hit them with the IJ.
Yeah, pretty much. Because the turn 1 IJ is optimal, because then you leave them with little in hand. And if I can't do turn 1, then I'm doing turn 1 David to Angel of the Lord, and then I do the turn 2 IJ. And it's so easy for me to get Jehoshaphat that I'm able to bounce David to get awesome things, or IJ turn 2, whatever I need. So yeah, that's the premise.
Do you think
I love the Throne of David. I was getting David like all the time from Throne of David. Balaam's Disobedience got me blocks. Balaam's is so solid. And Bathsheba, man, I mean, she seems like a super good card in this meta. I mean,
she is.
I don't really see anybody else playing her.
And with Lord Goes Before You, with David, you go in with David alone. You choose the block with Bathsheba. Lord Goes Before You. That's a cheese rescue right there.
Dang.
Chad, you need to go kill a spider.
That is.
Yeah, I just there was like one turn where I thought about Bathsheba, but since you had Christian Martyr in your hand the whole game, like I was never gonna just come out with David alone, and so that's kind of the downside there.
But Martyr was complicating things.
Yeah. So
Do you feel like Martyr? What do you think would? I feel like Shipwreck would have been better for me this game. I mean, what do you think?
I think so too. I mean, I think that you, I mean, ideally neither of them would have done anything for you because I would have just discarded them with impartial judgment.
Oh, that's right. God.
But
I feel for you, Jimmy. Like those games against.
oh,
And I think one of them I actually could have gone for a bigger IJ and I didn't because I've had like Noah and I wanted to keep him as regular, so I kept him in hand and didn't play him as me. And so, you know, those games, they just hurt because you're like, oh.
You gotta get it all. You gotta go all the way. It's like you gotta kill all their evil cards.
yeah.
And Jaden's actually the IJ king. He's the one who started it, you know, last year. None of us.
I don't do it on the
play
first turn though. That's what threw me off.
That's true.
Although I should have. I wasn't really thinking about it on JD's turn, and so like I didn't get like an exact count of the evil cards in his hand, and so when I was like back to my turn, I was kind of just trying to like piece it together a little bit, but I didn't have the exact number. And then of course he had drawn, I think it was, yeah, you drew 2 with Life in the Sun, and so
That's right.
I probably should have accounted for at least 1 evil card there, but yeah, that was so Chad, I guess, like, do you think that impartial judgment is better on turn 1 going first or second? Because I kind of feel like if you go first and you pull it off, like, and then they still have like an explosive turn 2, then I feel like you're kind of just right back at square one. Whereas like if they have a pretty good turn 1, where, you know, like JD drew 8 cards with Matthew and, you know, kind of loaded up his evil cards, and then if I pull off the big impartial judgment, then I feel like I'm at much more of an advantage when he's kind of already, you know.
So is Davis Descendants in
gassed out a
reserve?
little bit.
No, David's Ascendant's main deck, and that's
Okay.
part of the whole premise of the deck is
Yes.
if your opponent knows you're running impartial judgment, they plop all their evil guys down.
Yes.
Then I do awesome things David's Descendant instead of awesome things impartial judgment.
Mhm.
And then they're like, crap, why did
I
I
did
put all
that.
those guys down?
But then he just woes my Davis Descendants.
Who?
Josh. I was playing a game of him.
Oh.
Testing the deck because I was like, man, I really want to play this deck. I've been seeing him post all this great stuff about it. It looks like it's super fun, and I was like, I gotta try it, you know. So I built it and we were testing it, and man, it was like Dave's Descendants I could not get it to stick.
That stinks. Yeah, I haven't played it. I haven't had to do that play much, to be honest. It's in there, but really,
And
yeah, I usually do impartial. And, you know, let's say that it goes south and you can't even do impartial. Then I'm just going David Angel the Lord, getting Royal Parade Noah, getting Lord Goes Before You. Before, I'm actually going to possibly shift it up a bit. So I think, like, the version I ran at the regional, I'm going to go back to Jeremiah over Prophets of Gibeath, just because I like being able to go from Jehoshaphat or Joshua to Jehoshaphat to Noah, but Jeremiah is really good. And also the Temple Spears and Shields thing with Faith of David, it's turn 3 normally is when you get it, but it's a great rescue where you have Faith of David down, enter with Jeremiah, Temple Spears and Shields on a royal guy, and then you discard Faith of David, add them to battle, bounce their guy in battle. So I might go back to that. But that's the thing, is the rescues are actually pretty solid in the deck. So let's say you can't do impartial judgment, then you're just cruising through with good rescues.
You go all in for the combo, for real. Like, that's how this deck works, is it's all in for the combo. Like, everything, you slant the whole thing. I mean, it's got to be so acute. It's got to be such a sharp angle to just totally accomplish that one objective.
Oh, I agree with you. my point is sometimes there's the rare game where it just can't happen, you know.
Happen,
And
man. Gotta happen. It's happened. It happened for me every single game that I played.
So how did your games go? You played the deck.
But,
how many games
well,
did you
see,
play?
the problem is that I also did not get greedy enough, and didn't put down. See, I wasn't just like blasting Meek. I wasn't just like Meek, boom. You know what I'm saying? IJ.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's IJ for 4 and see how it goes. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh man, like, you know, it was almost like what happened here, like where it was like, and I lucked out. I had the Chronicles, but I mean, it sounds to me like if you, I mean, because the hand attack is the move. Like hand attack, if you blast their hand, man, I mean, and then you know, you might even want to run something like instead of False Prophecy, run Teaching in Parables.
Probably First Sacrifice fits better here. In this deck.
Why not
First Sacrifice and Teaching in Parables.
Yeah. I think it's worth testing. I went the route of doing the more battle winner approach post IJ, and it's worked for me, but it honestly might be a better route. It's worth testing it out, going with Teaching in Parables, First Sacrifice,
it just, like,
one or both.
It simplifies things so much. I mean, especially if you put in Jeremiah and like, so you play Impartial Judgment, then you have Jeremiah, and then on your next turn you play First Sacrifice or Teaching in Parables. Then Jeremiah is gonna just solo their whatever defense they do have left. And the part where it gets the most tricky is just with KOT and Red Dragon, where those battle winners do come in handy, but I don't know. That's
I'd say then you keep Royal Parade to deal with them, and maybe cut Faith of Barrack for First Sacrifice.
There we go. Now you're talking.
And then if you really want to go all in, cut Lord Goes Before You for Teaching Parables. But I honestly would just do First Sacrifice. I don't think I'd go.
Yeah, and you've got Coming Prince too.
Really, yeah.
You know what? You know what else I think would be great in this deck?
What?
Is Vain Philosophy.
Yeah, it would be very good. That's a very important card.
And I'll tell you, it might even be more important than Angel, because if you can seal that deal turn 1, you won't need an Angel.
Yeah, if I played Impartial Judgment and then I dropped a Vain Philosophy right afterwards, that would have been hilarious. You're just like, oh, I've got Chronicles, I can keep that, and then I drop the Vain Philosophy just to make sure that you don't have Chronicles or Second Coming or.
But see, that's what I'm saying, is that you get that turn. If you're getting, I mean, you're basically getting turn 1 Impartial almost every time with this deck, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, it's pretty consistent. I'd say it's like 85 to 90% of the time.
I mean, dude, you do that and then you vein them. I mean, or you vein them right off the rip. You vein them to start, and then you hit them with the Impartial, and it's like, okay, they do not have a way to stop this now.
Yeah, I definitely like Vein in this style of deck, because, I mean, if you do have it early on, you can, like, even on their turn, you can slow them down. You know, if you Vein their Way to Matthew, and then you count their evil cards, then you know exactly, or roughly at least, how many Meek heroes you need. So
yeah, I'm really liking, because honestly Gabe messaged me about the deck. He built it and was using it, and I mentioned to him, you know, I think the thing that I even mentioned in the article that I go back to Jeremiah. And then I was planning on cutting Faith of Barrack and putting Temple Spears and Shields back in so that I can do that combo. But I think First Sacrifice is better than that, because that's a late thing. It's a fun little combo with Jeremiah, Faith of David, Temple Spears and Shields on a Royal, but it's a late combo. So I'm liking the idea, cut Faith of Barrack, put First Sacrifice in, because that's strong. And that's strong even if it's good all around. And I have plenty. I have an early Joshua. I'm going to be able to use for sacrifice. There's no doubt about it. On turn 2, and yeah, I like it. I like that a lot. And then yeah, if I were to do Vayne, cutting Angel's hard because
I hear you.
the David to Angel rescue, I do that a lot, and it's strong. Especially doing David, you ban to a meek, so they can't martyr you, and then you're back by Angel.
But get this, I feel like that might be a crutch for you. Like David Angel, okay, it's a good rescue, but it's not a turn 1 IJ. Am I wrong?
It's not. Yeah.
Now,
I'll go ahead. Sorry.
It gets you IJ though, right? I mean, if you need it, you can get to an OT good card to get you IJ, and then banned to a meat guy who can awesome ride.
Well, that's the play. That's what you do. You grab awesome things or IJ with David, and then you ban to the meat guy. So you're just getting one of the pieces.
So then why would you run Angel?
So Angel's for after IJ. So that's my turn 2 or turn 3 rescue.
Or
so turn 1, I do IJ.
If you can't get both pieces, then or before.
So what about Prophets of Gibeath?
Yeah, that's what I'm cutting for Jeremiah. I tested that out because I wanted them in there to have a way to go from Jehoshaphat to Noah, to reuse Noah. And then also, especially with Joshua, to go Joshua, Jehoshaphat to Noah. And also prophets can top deck Royal Parade or Lord Goes Before You with Joshua, grab their own battle winner. But I think Jeremiah should be there. I think he's too good.
You know, I think that maybe you are getting a lot more value out of that card than I did, because I just didn't realize it could do all those things.
Yeah, it can do a fair amount. Prophets is pretty good here.
It's it was the second card in my discard pile, so
it was the one he discarded for prosperity.
Yeah, it's but I think Jeremiah is better because they get their own battle winner with Joshua out. They get Lord Goes Before You or Royal Parade, or they allow me to reuse Noah. But you don't really need more than one Noah use, honestly, if the deck's played right.
I like the repeated Noah use. I feel like that's actually a more reliable rescue, generally speaking. But yeah, I mean, I could see where Angel would be maybe necessary in some instances. I'm just trying to figure out, how could you get Vayne in here if you did?
Yeah, maybe Mayhem, but Mayhem with this deck, you're always 6. You're always 6, 5 or 6.
It's so good.
It's so good here.
One evil character that I think of whenever I see this deck is Sabbath Breaker.
Yeah, they fit.
It's just a D3, but that guy gave Children of Light deck that I played a lot of consistency.
Yeah, I think if you do that though, then Unsuccessful should probably move to main deck. Like if you can put Unsuccessful in main deck, maybe swap out Profane Daughters for Sabbath Breaker. That's probably what I would.
Limbs on Sabbath Breaker is like so many times the block, man. I can't tell you.
That is like one of the classic blocks.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Like ever since Priests.
Get that D3 and then protected CBN is amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, it's very good. That's worth testing. See, I tested out. Profane Daughters has done well for me. One thing with Profane Daughters that often gets missed is the restricting opponent from playing good dominance until their next turn. Like, that's good. It's a good thing, especially with how fast this deck seems to win. And I found it helps me with my soul differential because I do that, and then they get their Son of God Second Coming, and they can't use it, and I just win.
Daughters, because the problem with Daughters is that turn 1, Daughters doing nothing for you.
Yeah, that's true.
And turn 1, if you go second and Sabbath Breaker comes in, you're not giving them, if they come Matthew, you're not giving them, those brigades, but also you're getting a D3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
That's
think,
true.
I mean, like, I could see daughters being used with, like, wasting disease in reserve and then unsuccessful in the main deck. Because if you have daughters, like, she's not necessarily doing nothing on the first turn. She's not getting her own battle winner. But if you have Balaams or you have
Bro,
unsuccessful,
Slave to Breaker to Balaams is just like, oh, amazing block, man. So many times.
yeah. But I mean, like, is slave to daughters and Balaams, is that better to restrict the dominance?
I don't think the Dom restrict is going to be a big deal for you. I think that this is,
Yeah, I suppose coming down on
the
turn
game
one.
here is to set up big and slam them out the park and then just hit them over and over with stuff they can't block. And that's where I definitely agree that the profits for Jehoshaphat, profits to Noah, rinse and repeat is incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what my closeout rescue was with my Widow deck. It was like, all the Widow stuff happening, but really I'm just going Noah, 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 Noah.
So you would stick with Prophets over Jeremiah here, JD?
I mean, I think Jeremiah definitely is worth considering. But yeah, I mean, in my book, man, Noah is incredible. And, if you take out, for example, any of their, negate souls or, humble, I mean, you're like, I just, it's like my Noah is just swinging, man. And if you've got a humble, your Noah CBP, you can make your Noah CBP. So it's just like boom, 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 over and over with that. And if you already blew up their hand for like 5, like if he would have blown up my hand for 5, man, he would have been walking all game with Noah.
And that's part of why I added it in, because I was using Noah a lot more than I was Jeremiah. And, Noah with Royal Parade is just, that's brutal.
Noah with Royal Parade? And, okay, so, yeah, I mean, with Harp, I mean, man, that's some serious, okay, so one thing that is worth considering in this deck, you've got all these kings, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, realistically, I think with David, I almost feel like you could run Jesse and Obed. I mean, I might be totally wrong here, but I almost feel like you could run Jesse and Obed with the game plan of just putting them down as meat.
I mean, Akeem is in here kind of for that purpose.
Yeah, Akeem is. I do have Akeem. I could add Jesse. I've thought of that.
Is the gold just like definitely better? Because it looks like you're centered around red and like white. I mean, you've got Zerubbabel's, but I mean that's got red gold on, so you could play that on Obed or Jesse if they're pink.
You just need enough people for Emmaus Road.
That's it. Yeah. Yep, Emmaus. That's why I actually originally, the version that I ran of this deck that I lost to Jaden with. Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. I was using Land of Moab, and then I would use that as one of the ways to get to David, and then I was running Obed. But then after that game, I realized Land of Moab, I didn't really need it. I had more than enough ways to get to David, and at that point I switched to Akeem to have the colors for Emmaus.
Yeah,
But Jesse's worth considering. I've thought of that, but I'm just like, I worry that I'd cut down too much on my critical mass of royals for Zion, because I want to have a royal in hand for Zion.
Totally. For sure.
And like I cut Solomon already for Joshua, so that cut it down one. But maybe I do have enough, and I could cut like out of the Meeks, the one that I use the least would probably be Asa. Like I like Hezekiah because he's fat, so I like to band him with David when I do my plays and whatever, just to have the extra numbers. But I could cut Asa and put Jesse in there. But I just want to see and make sure that I have enough royals.
You're right. Yeah. No, that's right.
Yeah, I think Asa. Yeah, he almost worked out well for me with his draw too, until I realized it was negated.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like kind of obscure.
The sneaky
That's-
thing with him is him off of Faith of David.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, with his Reserve and Evil Mel, with a band ability or Evil Royal Female.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's so, I mean, just looking at JD's defense here, that's Abaddon, that's Messenger, and that's Red Dragon. Yeah,
See?
any of those dudes.
Yep.
Yeah, I think, yeah, you'll have to watch it to see what was happening with, or watch the video to see what was happening with Asa there, because that was just that whole interaction was too good. But I think that's where I gotta wrap this up, guys, because I gotta start heading to bed here. But thanks for hanging out and chatting a little bit. Hopefully, however much of this I decide to keep in the final cut, people will be interested in.
Yeah,
But,
totally. No, I mean, this is great insight from the guy who built the deck himself. So
yeah. Thanks for
Yeah, it
hopping in,
was-
Chad.
Cool to talk to you guys. And yeah, thanks for running the deck, Jaden. And I'm curious to see. I really do think a Disciples deck that does run Widow stuff and first combo stuff and Lockdown will be hard to beat. But I could be wrong.
dude, he would have been walking all game if he had gone for 5. If he had gone 5, he would have been walking, I would say, for at least 2 or 3 turns that game.
And I think maybe I'm harder on the deck because I built it, and so maybe it is better than I think. Maybe it can win nationals. I mean, it's kept winning for me. Like I said, ever since I lost to Jaden, I have not lost a game with it. Every tournament game I played, I've won. It's 13-0 in tournament play. And then every casual game I played with it, I've won. I haven't lost a game. So because it's very consistent at doing what it wants to do, and literally, if I go first, I win. The choppy games have been when I've gone second, or if someone does like what happened this game where they managed to get around IJ. But I managed to win those games. But yeah, so I think there is validity to the deck, and maybe some of these things like First Sacrifice, throwing Vain Philosophy in, are what
If
take
you
it
can
to the
fit it,
next
man.
level.
If you can fit it, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's good insight.
I don't know what I mean. Angel, it's crazy. Like it is crazy that Angel is the dominant that I'm looking at for Vayne. It's like
Yeah.
Angel's like but that's a soul. Like why would you trade that for Vayne?
Yeah.
But it might be that thing because if you're already blasting every single, you basically have 5 Angel of the Lords that hits their hand with IJ.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's worth testing, but
Yeah, I'm curious to see where this deck ends up, and I'm certainly curious to try it out a bit more myself.
Yeah, man. I want to see more games of you playing it too.
Yeah, thing is though, like, I just in principle, I just don't like the deck because I think it does what post exilics want to do, but just better, and so I just I just don't like it.
It's so funny, Jade, because you remember your post exilic Speedy Boys you posted, and you won a couple online locals with it, and it had a small little defense like this. So when I crafted this deck, I used that deck as a reference.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the idea of David, Hard After God, banding to a Meek Royal to do Impartial Judgment, having Zion to get to Joshua, and I was like, man, this deck literally does what Jaden's deck does, but faster, more consistently.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we talked about that too, and we were kind of like, well, is doing it on turn 1 better? And I think like initially we kind of came to the conclusion of no, but I think that eventually now you kind of have gotten it to a point where like, yeah, that actually does make a big enough difference, and like you just kind of have the deck built in the right way to maximize the turn 1 impact.
Yes. And I think the First Sacrifice thing, I honestly haven't. I think I've used Faith of Barrack once in all the games I've been running this deck.
Yeah,
I
that's
put it in there because I was seeing a lot of banding defenses, but I'm not seeing them much anymore. I'm not. I was seeing Assyrians for a bit, but I'm not really seeing them that much, and I haven't used it at all. And so I think it's time to make the shift to First Sacrifice for sure. It's going to be better, especially with Coming Prince.
Yeah.
Like, would you make that change, Jaden?
I would definitely swap out Faith of Barrack for something, and it would probably be the First Sacrifice. AOC
Yeah.
would be tempting, though.
It is tempting.
But anyways, that's officially where I'm going to cut you guys off now. I know we could just keep
All
on
right.
talking about this all night,
Yeah.
but
Hey.
thanks, guys, and we'll catch y'all later.